next
entryway.
day. Yeah, that he has an entryway that we couldn't see from the streets.
Mhm.
So we're going to set up microphones throughout the house so you can figure out where he's entering from. And if they ask why microphones, you state because they're more easily concealed than the cameras. Then the next day, because we'll do another night of rotating shifts for keeping watch on the house. And then the next day we go in as quote unquote a SWAT team to basically a government SWAT team to flush the guy
Okay,
out.
I need to acquire a SWAT uniform.
You don't necessarily need to, but it would be helpful.
I wasn't expecting runs today because I still need to write down my weapon.
I
Just
didn't
fine.
write
I
down my
think yours
armor.
is technically a medium pistol, but you could probably get away with a heavy one.
I'd probably use the
Yeah,
medium.
I did my weapon.
Hmm?
Did my weapon for Delta Green at least.
Yes, your weapon is done now. That's good. Pat pat Ines.
Except for the ammo. I didn't do the ammo yet.
Ines, you have an M14. Yeah, M16A2 that holds 30 rounds. You have 6 spare clips, magazines, not clips. Clips are the stripper clips. You have 6 spare magazines, and your gun has 30 rounds already in it.
Yes.
I will say this right now. You have no excuse using a non-fully automatic weapon to somehow burn through all 7 magazines that you have on you. When there are 4 of us in this house. And Paige, you're handling cameras because we need, because if we're going to pull this off convincingly, we need someone on the cams. And just in case this guy starts getting away, you can alert us before we waste more time searching the house.
Cool.
Also, Ines, you're staying behind with the FBI agent to search the house for any secret entrance, which is also, which is both the truth and also a cover for us to get rid of any evidence that we might leave behind of anything supernatural happening here.
Please
Except for
don't
the
forget to burn
symbols.
the tapes.
Paige, don't forget to burn the tapes before you pack guys are packing everything up.
My character's used to doing that.
Yes, but if you don't state it, it didn't happen.
Yeah. In a game like Delta Green, if you don't state it, it didn't happen.
Like when, Ines forgot to state that he turned on his lantern and then proceeded to get murdered by some stalactites.
Yes. And then he stated that he was lighting his lantern instead of, stating that he was just going to turn up the brightness on it by supplying with a bit more fuel. Nope, he said he was going to light the lantern. So I had to make a bunch of luck rolls and it got him killed. Well, correction, his reaction to the luck rolls got him killed. Like a dumbass. Looks pointedly at Ines.
Looks unashamed in the fact he doesn't care about the dead child.
God damn it, Ines. Point is,
Tim died, but
Jacob brought up a good point. We're probably going to need. What were the lights called again?
Xenon.
Xenon. Yeah, we're gonna need a bunch of xenon lights.
They're the things most assholes put in their cars that are like stupid bright.
Ines?
Yeah, that's Xenon, and it's fucking. I hate it.
Yeah,
Ines,
if we
did
have to do a night raid, we're gonna need a bunch of those just to keep this thing from getting out.
Oh wait,
Under,
Ines? Sorry.
but we'll cover the justification later for why we're setting them up.
Okay,
yes,
uh,
Paige.
did you murder a child while I wasn't here?
Did he what?
Did he murder a child while I wasn't here? Because he said
No.
something about a dead
Mm.
child.
No,
No,
his
he
child just
recall-
died.
He recalls murder and child, and doesn't remember the fact that they were in two completely different parts of the plan. Both of those words were in totally different sections of the plan.
So I remember different parts of the plan at least.
I still murdered the
Ein's-
child. Don't.
Next time that this happens, I am going to end up. I will literally use you as bait for the next cryptid that we deal with.
Don't worry.
If you get the plan fucked up again.
Don't
'Cause
worry.
I quizzed you on this for 2 days.
I'm slowly remembering it. For the fact is, I'm looking at food. I now
Einz.
remember it while I'm eating.
Einz, you can look back at the live stream.
It wasn't on the live stream. After the live stream ended, for 2 days, I was drilling him on what the plan was and what he needed to do.
Yes, I'm now remembering it while I'm making food.
I think he's just saying that to get me off his back.
I am remembering it slowly.
Yeah,
I don't
think
remember
you're right.
all of it.
I think you're right. Not Einz.
I'm
but
not
the other
remembering
person.
all of it, but I'm remembering parts of it. We're
So I
not
think
shooting
you're
the
right.
child. I'm here as a buddy to Ozzy from the academy, if I remember correctly.
Then why were you called in?
Because Ozzy doesn't know sign language, and I'm
Yeah.
the closest person in the area who does to him.
Now, how do we know each other?
The
Yeah,
academy.
he just got done saying it was the academy.
Oh, did he? Okay. I heard Ein's talking and my brain shut off.
Oof.
And these are the two people we're having go in together to do the questioning, but their brain shuts off whenever they hear the other speak.
What was that?
It's fine.
This won't
I'll
end well
refocus.
at all.
This is gonna go spectacularly.
We
I
got this.
remember
Don't
the
worry.
Fucking
conversation
fire.
when
Also, Einz, I'm just gonna say this right now. You're taking first watch this night because I am going with with 4 hours less sleep than you
Okay.
due to having the last watch before morning, and I still need to be awake since the frog isn't awake to provide you with backup.
Got it. Gonna pull
So
this
whatever
up.
you do, don't be stupid and leave your gun in the trunk.
Don't worry, my gun's right next to me.
He left
He's
his-
learning.
Did you leave the ammo in the trunk though?
No.
Did you say you grabbed the ammo?
Did you remember to actually load the goddamn rifle?
Yes, the rifle is loaded.
Do you
Sometimes
remember
I
to grab
question
extra ammo?
that how you ended up being a specialist.
And what was
You
the?
remember to inform Lucas of the fact that you finally narrowed down a specialization
No.
that would actually allow you to be a specialist.
No.
Said inform him, he's right there.
Specialist is a rank.
I know, but the problem is, technically speaking, he has no skills that would actually qualify him as being anything other than enlisted.
Pacific. Specialist is an E4. That is literally the name of the rank. You don't have to be specialized in shit.
Doesn't matter. I forced him to be fucking specialized. You know why? Because apparently his only skill at all in the military was driving.
Shooting.
Can you put a hole in
Driving
it? 'Cause I
and
don't have a
shooting.
pistol.
Literally
Driving and
infantry.
And I'm just like, God damn it, Einz. I know for a fact that they taught you more than just how to drive and how to pull a trigger. Mostly because they cover a hell of a lot more than that in basic alone.
I know
It's
how
not
to throw a
in depth,
grenade.
but they do cover more than that.
I know how to throw a grenade.
I
Does that
hope
count?
you know how to throw a grenade.
I guess it just depends on how much you retained.
Judging by his current behavior, the answer is nothing.
The more I eat, the more I remember our conversation specific.
Yeah, Yes, this boy
hell?
out here.
Yo,
Because
what
every time I quizzed him was while he was being dumb and eating.
You know, the moment
Because
he stops
apparently
eating,
food
he's
makes
gonna
him
forget.
stupid.
You know, the moment he stops eating, he's gonna forget the entire plan.
And if he does, I've already told him that if he jeopardizes the mission, he's going to die.
I made notes. All right.
No one's going to question if you go missing on a
Crow.
classified mission
Crow,
where not even our higher ups know the destination.
Crow, I'm gonna tell you my loadout.
I can check it.
I didn't put it.
Just remember to actually state which attachments are currently stuck to your gun.
Oh, all right. I have a targeting laser.
Yes.
I have a sound suppressor. What's it called?
It's called a sound suppressor.
Yeah, sound suppressor and a thermal scope. Those are my attachments.
I have the same attachments, although I do have the forward hand grip, which realistically does nothing mechanically, but it is an attachment. That is different from the default, therefore I must state it. It doesn't matter if it's not for mechanical benefits, I must state it. What are you doing, Boo? What are you doing, Zoe? Zoe, what are you doing?
Food. All right, you get.
So yes, so Ainz over here would like to be CQC. Pat, this is going to be great training for him. Or, might be the last day of his life. We're not sure.
Well, I mean, you'd probably want CQB because that's house clearing.
Ah, thank you.
That's close quarters battle. CQC is close quarters combat.
I always forgot which one was the which one was the
B is with your guns.
melee
C is
and
with your
yeah,
fucking
that's
hands.
what it was. CQB.
I'm good with my hands.
Yeah.
like
I always
The families.
the problem was I always forget which one of those two was the guns and which one was the hand to hand.
yeah. Like
Bro,
my
look
character
at- Yeah, so
is
you're CQB.
technically a bit better at CQC because he has well above average in the melee and unarmed. It just so happens that since he's also trained to be a marksman, as you do when you're what he is, I just shrugged and maxed out marksmanship.
I have.
Well,
I
pretty
have
much
good.
maxed out.
I also have good.
No, you maxed it out. That's
combat.
the highest a human can physically go.
I also have a good.
I can
Before-
technically get
combat.
9 more points into it. It's just very hard to get those 9 more points.
Yeah. That's the highest a human goes before they enter Delta Green, so yes, you technically maxed it out. CQB, there we go. Now it's correct. So, I believe when we last left off, we had just called off at the last moment the frog from jumping in the child's window because we saw
Yes.
the thing there. So, I guess we're returning to our posts. And
This
just
time-
waiting. Does anything happen until my 4-hour shift ends? Well, 2.75, whatever. My part of the night shift ends. Since I will be keeping my eye on the house. That's a good question. I don't remember
What was the
family name
family's last name again, Lucas?
Garrison.
Garrison.
And by the way, it is spelled exactly how you think it is.
I imagined.
Right. But yeah, though, I'm gonna be getting back into the car and watching the house again. Nudge,
I will-
nudge everyone else.
Yeah,
I will also go back in the car. This time I will not
I-
put my gun in the trunk.
I believe. Yeah, I go back to my car. I didn't
No,
go
no,
collect-
you
Well,
were in the house watching
in
the
the house.
cameras.
Right. It's been a while.
Yeah, you were on camera duty. Paige had already left, so we don't know where she was.
I didn't leave. I was here the entire time. I never said I left.
No, no, you as a person. You never once stated where your character went, so we just assumed, so we just had to assume that you must have gone AFK or something for pretty much the entire back half of that.
My mic stopped working.
That would explain it. Yeah, so we have no clue what you were doing the whole time.
Okay, give me a sec. Where's the address of this place again?
One second. Nice thing about having it up all the time. 3591 Northridge Avenue.
God,
What city? Well, what
Tampa,
state?
Tampa,
Florida.
Florida.
Is it 3895?
3591.
Thank you.
And the house we are watching is the one with the outdoor pool
They
in the
both have
back.
an outdoor pool.
What?
They both have an outdoor pool.
Like I said, the one in the back.
Yeah, the one
The other
that's
one's
The
not.
non-covered one.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
non-covered one that's attached to
I-
the back of the house, not the one that's
Acquired the covered one.
literally right there.
Which Florida?
Did you just ask which Florida?
Bruh.
I meant which city in Florida.
Tampa. Can't sit in my room because they're hammering up something.
Thank you.
Any more
But
questions?
my character.
Because Pacific, it does not pop back up.
For my shift, okay. I suppose you should also, I suppose that would also cover off these cameras.
Yep.
Since the thermal one was watching. Okay. In that case, I'm going to nudge Ainz' character back awake and just say, okay, your shift.
Right.
Then just, I suppose, turn off the night vision goggle before I go to sleep, because I'm pretty sure these aren't the passive ones. These are the ones that still run off battery. Which is annoying. Oh, you brought us all coffee. That's great. I'm going to be drinking mine cold because I'm only going to be drinking it when my shift starts up again.
I like
Whatever
my
you do,
coffee.
Ainz, don't drink my coffee. I will
Don't worry.
fucking kill you in this car.
I'm not gonna drink your coffee,
Rosie
but I will.
Rosie will say, if you want, I can get you a new batch of coffee.
Nah, it's fine.
I will also drink mine cold because I want cold coffee.
She goes, so how's everything looking so far?
You're asking me or Pacific?
Both of you guys. The shift, it's basically the transition of shift. What did I miss? Would be her question.
Did I see anything, Crow?
This is between shifts. Your shift hasn't. technically begun yet.
Yeah, I think he was referring to when the actual cryptid showed up. Mr. I needed to pop the trunk to go get my gun. Since I left it in the back with my bag and all the rest of my stuff.
I had my
We
sidearm.
forgot the part where I was like, yes, we're going to keep most of our stuff over at the military base, so we aren't just carrying around 2 duffel bags full of military gear.
I'm not carrying 2 duffel bags. I have civilian clothes in there.
She goes, so what I miss?
Mind you're wearing your civilian clothes.
I know.
He has an extra pair of civilian clothes.
In case I need to throw it on one of you.
God damn it. Cryptid showed up and then
What
disappeared
did-
before we could do anything.
What did it look like and what did it do?
Shadowy human showed up in the daughter's room, communicated with her for a little bit, and then vanished again.
She goes, did you make sure to make a map of the place when you were checking out the insides earlier?
That's the agent you want to talk to. He's the one who was actually inside.
Wait, has he actually been camping in there the entire time?
No.
No, you went in there with the FBI agent.
Yes.
The one time, yeah, the only time anyone walked in there to do anything. That was out of character. I'm just reminding you. You went in there with him.
Yes, yeah, true. He pulls out her phone typing something. She goes, were they communicating at all?
Just told you it was using sign language with the child.
Yeah. Are we able
Now,
to
please excuse me. I'd very much so like to get a nap before my shift comes back around. I don't want to be up for over 48 hours.
Okay. It looks like she basically pulls out something and starts researching it. Or at least typing something.
So you type it into a laptop?
Yep. If those exist.
Laptop
Yes.
existed in the 90s. I think they didn't have Wi-Fi properly.
Yeah. Besides, we know laptops existed. The guy who briefed us had one. Jacob used that laptop.
Gotta love that dial-up of the fucking 90s. Then again, these are
91.
people beyond even the fucking feds. They got tech.
Still probably just faster than dial-up, which honestly.
You see her finish after a little bit. It's basically she's just typing up a document.
As specialist, if you fucking took your eyes off that building to answer her questions, I swear to God.
No.
Have
Did I say I
right
look at her?
face.
Did I say I look at her?
Front-leaning rest position. Move.
She drinks her coffee and just goes, well, I'm gonna go look around. Maybe I move to one of the other houses. And she takes off again.
Great thing about being an experienced soldier is the ability to fall asleep pretty much anywhere at the blink of an eye. You know, assuming you don't have problems.
Yep.
Oh, that's my character handled until my shift pops back up or someone
Till your
nudges
shit
me
comes
awake.
back.
Unless I see the SPC, I'm not the cryptid. I'm not
Did
gonna.
you just say SPC?
Did you just call it SPC?
No, he just called it an SPC.
Massive
Shut up!
Yeah.
I hate it. I am kidding. I do
There's
not.
a reason I'm calling it a goddamn cryptid.
I
Can I point
can't.
something out
I
here?
stopped myself halfway through and said cryptid.
That wasn't even halfway through. You finished what you were saying. You said SCP wrong, and then you corrected yourself to
Shut up.
cryptid.
Shut up.
You
Can I just point out
actually
this
got
place
I'm
is
just gonna
super
mute
close to
myself
a
and eat my
cemetery.
food.
what?
On Google Maps, the place is super close to a cemetery.
Yeah. Still, not a consideration until we actually know what it is. We haven't. Unfortunately, Paige, you see, we have a slight problem. We don't really have time to determine an origin point for for what actually drew it to this house or where it came from, because it's already shown that it's interacting with the family. So now we're on a timetable. So, excuse me if I take the shoot first, ask questions later approach for this one. Oops. In any case, does anything else happen?
I mean, the day happens, so you get kids
Yes, but
leave for school.
we were taking 3 shifts because Ines was going to have to go in and question the child, so I take up another shift
when they're
after
going
his
to
is
go
done.
to school.
That's pretty easy. Just pull aside the family just a little bit before school and possibly just write up a note apologizing for the kid being late.
The thing is, it's like she knows you. Dad fucking leaves, and it's like, well, that's a weird fucking van. And then mom has to go take the kids to school.
Well, here's the thing. She knows the FBI agent and Paige.
Dad doesn't.
And honestly, we're just a we're just a car that's parked and getting ready to drive. Air quotes, getting ready to drive. When the family actually looks like they're waking up, because I do have my typical patrol pattern again.
Isn't this the same family that says they were going to see about moving into a hotel for tonight?
No,
Does
we
it-
were
No.
considering moving them into a hotel, and that was the other family that we successfully moved into a hotel with money.
No. Remember, they just
No?
gave you a back room. They still
Oh,
live there.
that's right. They still live there. That's right. That's why the frog has to sleep under the bed. Like the good frog he is.
Ribbit, motherfucker.
Crazy frog over in the fucking corner.
Crazy frog. Yeah, so I'm assuming that nothing else happens during the entire night.
Nope.
Alright. I guess it's... Paige, would you be a dear and review the tapes? I know we
Sure
only got the
thing.
thing on thermal, but just in case we missed anything while all the stuff was happening, while I'm still patrolling around the area, and Authy, this would be the part.
Sorry, everybody kept cutting it out.
Yeah,
I only
Authy, this would be the point where you'd need to go get the microphones.
Yeah,
And then
I'm
we'd probably
gonna go
just
out and buy those.
discuss. Yeah, and then we'd probably end up taking a few moments to discuss in character what the plan actually is. Because I will radio in saying we're probably going to need microphones for the next
Mhm.
part. Then you guys get the lovely moment of having to talk to the kids. Actually, this works out great if the kids are at school, because now we can question them without the parents getting suspicious as to why we're asking them a different set of questions from everyone else.
You never asked Dad any fucking questions.
Yes. Honestly, we'll probably be tracking down the dad while my
Yep.
good old buddy over here, nudge nudge Irons, gets to go talk to some kids.
Hey kids, you want to join the fucking army? God.
Wait, I'm talking to children? Are you sure this is a good idea, Pacific?
Irons, you said you fucking spoke sign language, and the only other person who speaks that is the frog.
Alright,
And we're
Join
not sending the frog out there.
fucking
I'll do it.
elementary school.
well, I'll do it.
Yes, because it's far better to get them outside of their house where they're less comfortable.
I mean, we can wait until the afternoon. Just gives us more time to plan.
I mean, you do you. You gonna send Ines to the fucking school?
Looks at Irons.
I don't think that the
Remembers
school
the fact that he already forgot his gun in the trunk of the car once.
Wait,
And
wait,
this
wait,
time
wait.
Not a
I'm
good
not
idea for
going to
him to
risk
go in
him.
there.
I'm not going to risk him forgetting to put down his gun before he walks into a fucking preschool.
You left it in the trunk.
Elementary school. No, he got it out last night.
Yeah, but he said he went and put it up.
Not yet. I haven't said that yet.
No, he hasn't.
He said he kept it with him.
Nom, nom, nom.
Okay.
If I'm gonna talk to the children, I'm gonna put the gun in their trunk.
Yeah, no, we're gonna wait until the afternoon just so that the FBI agent's there to do the
Thank
talking
you.
with the parents.
Thank you.
Because I don't trust you to come up with a convincing explanation to a teacher
Please
and
don't.
not to wave your gun around a bunch of kids.
I
I just don't
have.
trust you as a person.
I put my gun away.
Yeah, your service long arm. What about your sidearm?
That too.
I still don't trust him. So I'll say you
Okay.
and I both know the plan. When the family
Yep.
shows up at home.
Where
Also,
We
how many
question
microphones
them.
are you getting? 5 or 6?
Hmm.
I said, how many microphones are you getting?
I grabbed 8 because I didn't know how many hallways they had.
All right. Well, yeah, because we only got to see the actual.
Plus, I
layout
want to
for
put
like
one
5
by the
seconds.
front door and the back door. Just so it looked better there with the family.
All right. This will be the part where you both get to do some talking.
Whew. Not ready for this. Okay. Yeah. I guess we go back to the house or look for the father.
Dad
Um,
went to work.
Father went
Wait
to work.
until
So
they get home.
okay. So yeah, I have to wait till they get home.
I had.
I'm still going to be, we're still going to be roughly keeping an eye on the house while I still circle in the car.
Aussie, can you DM me the questions you're gonna ask the parents so I can ask, the
I
child?
didn't get time to plan that.
Oh,
I was
You two
expecting
were never in the same fucking area. You are both going off the cuff of each other.
Yeah. This is literally me briefing you in the fucking car as we're circling until they get home. Heinz. I'm just saying, I'm basically just saying this with the radio on.
Yeah,
It's
because I'm
just
listening
like,
through the radio.
listen, you're going to have to go question the kid because the agent back there doesn't speak a lick of sign language. Mr. I know sign language over here.
Either that or I
He's
do
going
it.
to have to. Yeah, either that or else we go wake up the frog. And by we, I mean you're going to have to go wake up the frog.
All right, I'll do it.
Because I'm not stupid enough to go wake up the frog.
I'll do it. I understand, sir.
You know, outside of an emergency. Sips is now extremely cold coffee. Or
Alright.
coffee gets while it's just sitting there.
What?
Remember, you just need to get from the kid whatever information we can about her. I don't know what he is to her. Her imaginary friend, her uncle. I don't give a shit. We just need to know what the relationship is there.
Understood.
Buddy you talk
The
to.
agent will cover its relation. You know, like Mr. Agent Man will cover the relation between it and the rest of the family.
Don't you hear?
Mhm.
Quick question: are you guys anywhere close to Rosie at the moment?
This is talking over the radio. Are you close enough to Ozzy to hear over his radio?
Probably. She goes, "Don't forget to ask.
Ozzy,
ask
do you
its
have the
name."
earpiece in?
I would have the earpiece in so the family in the house doesn't hear our operations.
Yeah, so you wouldn't be able to hear this.
She'll probably still say, if you're talking to the others, make sure to remind them to ask if she knows what its actual name is. That might help.
Confirm, and I repeat it back to Easy Boy
Understood.
and try to figure out what it wants with the child too.
Understood.
Maybe go try to speak to her in a different language than what we found them speaking in.
Mhm.
You mean sign language?
Yeah, maybe approach her in a language she didn't know. And sort of like,
Paige, it uses
Okay.
sign language because the daughter, what was it, mute or deaf?
Deaf.
I think she was deaf. Yeah. It wouldn't matter if it approached her with the language or not. She wouldn't know what it was saying.
true.
And she has no way of identifying what language it used.
I'm out of food.
Okay. That means showtime.
Ah!
And then remember, if you spot it even out of the corner of your eyes, do not engage unless it looks like the family is going to spot it too.
Understood.
Or, you know, if it looks like it's about to be actively hostile to both you and the family.
Right.
If it's only going to be hostile to you guys, then just lure it into a different room before you engage it.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh, and agent, keep your radio on.
Radio will be on, earpieces in.
Yeah, and transmitting, because I want to be able to hear what's happening, and
Yep.
it's going to be pretty much useless hearing, you know, the sign language discussion that's happening in a different room.
Mm-hmm. Anxiety.
All right. Let's.
Yes, you both are getting put on the spot, but I can't help it. You're the most persuasive one in the group.
It's
as well as
fine,
the
I
actual
understand. I
agent,
just don't
and
wanna
he's
fuck
the
this
guy
up.
who speaks sign language.
I just don't want to
And
fuck
I'm
this
here
up.
as, and I'm here as fire support while the frog is sleeping.
Bang, 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 bang.
So yes, go out and purchase microphones.
Yes.
And just to go over one last time, because it's probably been discussed, like, because we had plenty of time to discuss our actual plan. Remember the cover story?
Yes, I remember the cover story.
Serial killer from. Hold on. I have it in notes.
God fucking damn it, Heinz.
I have it in notes. Give me a second.
You better have your notes pulled
I
up.
remember because I picked the state.
Heinz, you better have your notes actually out when you do
Georgia.
this, because you can't afford to, to actually have a pause. Yes, it's Georgia.
Yes.
And remember, we do do not reveal the fact that he is still in the house, or at least that we still suspect him to be in the house.
No, we just have to assume that he has a way in and out of the house.
Yeah.
Understood.
All right. Ready to launch Operation Winter.
Yep, I go up and
I'm behind him. I have no weapons
Signs you're a dumbass.
except for sidearm.
There you go.
I don't have my big gun. Only sidearm.
wait. Ines, what is your character's name?
Justin.
Last name?
Key specialist time.
Time.
Specialist time. Okay.
Yeah, you'd probably just refer to him as, I don't know, Mr. Time or Agent Time.
hmm
Why'd you have to pick Time as a last name? It sounds so fake when people say
It
it.
does.
Because
Your
he
last
wanted the
name's
pun.
so fake.
I wanted the pun.
Yes, but we're gonna have. But if this continues
like calling
past this
yourself the
one
doctor.
thing, we're gonna have so many goddamn just disbelieving people every time that we try to introduce you by your actual last name. It's not gonna help our case at all.
I know
When the
someone
guy's
named Time.
actual name sounds like a goddamn fake name.
I know a person. I know an actual person whose last name is Time.
I do too, except it's actually time as in the spice.
No, I know someone whose actual name is like Time.
No, it's time.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, Time.
It's a fucking herb.
No, yeah. I know someone who was named, whose last name was the same as the herb you're just going with.
I met a guy named Cookie. And a guy named
Look.
Coffee.
Look, I will tell you this: in basic training, we had a guy named Fish.
First name or last name?
Last name Fish.
No, this man's first name was Coffee.
I know
mean,
someone whose
Showed me
first
his
name
ID
is
and everything.
Coffee.
It was a legit ID.
What you guys are walking up?
Yep.
So when you knock on the fucking door,
I
Yes.
do knock. Fucking need water. One
and
second.
then the wife is at the door again, the missus.
Good evening, Mrs. Garrison. I believe you remember me. This is my colleague, Mr. Time.
Hello, ma'am.
So did you figure out anything about the crime, or?
Well, we need to discuss that with you and your family, and I would like to speak with your husband. Are your children home by any chance?
They're doing homework, but yes.
If possible, we brought Mr. Time in because he speaks sign language and I'm unable to. We would like if he could ask your daughter a couple questions, see. Just get an official statement for the whole record. They request that we ask every family member a statement.
All right, but I'm going to want to be up there with him.
Understandable.
You will both be invited in. Just like,
Great.
hmm Enter the house.
I will also enter the house behind Othie.
all right. So the husband is sitting in the den, and she makes her way back to the kitchen, seeing as housewife. She more than likely does most of the cooking,
Yes.
especially in the 90s.
Yeah.
I go and introduce myself to the husband. Good evening, Mr. Garrison. I am Agent Musket, and I show him my badge.
He'll get up, walk over, and go to shake both your hands.
Hmm.
Or it's the Bernier family. That's right. Name change
Yeah, that was it.
after the wife, the previous wife.
Okay, so I was correct originally. How did you spell that?
Berneier.
Bern.
IER.
Thank you. Correct that to Mr. Bernier.
Mr. Timothy Bernier is African American.
Ah, that's
So
right.
this is a
Interracial.
black man with his very much white wife. So do with that info what you will.
Open-minded. Here to protect the family, not judge the family.
I am black.
Is black.
I am black guy.
Well, there we go. Problem solved.
I am black guy.
He don't give a fuck.
Just goes, I'm black.
God damn it, Hines.
God damn it,
That's
I.
not, that's not the words that come out of his mouth.
Hines, remember, in character, go.
No, I was just stating because Althea said he doesn't care. I was like, I'm black. I wouldn't care anyway.
So he shakes both your hands and
Mhm.
what can I help you with?
Well, we just hoping to get a statement from you and the rest of the family. We've already spoken with your wife. And of course, we wanted to discuss a issue with both of you as well.
All right. What questions do you have?
Well, for the most part, and I take out a notebook and my pen. Can you most likely just tell me your end of the story, or what you saw happen, what you heard happen?
Sarah woke me up. No, not Sarah. What's her? Evelyn. That's right. I'm
Got
like,
your damn
because
wife's name.
I got 5 names to work with on this sheet on
You're
this little
good.
thing, and it's just a mess for my
Yeah,
brain.
it could be worse.
Yeah.
Could
I
be-
wanted time to think of my questions because you said the correct questions to ask, and I didn't know, and I wanted to think on it.
Exactly.
I had till Thursday.
I'm forcing you to overthink this. It's great. For as far as you're aware, you asked the right questions, but you see, you may not have. But this is fun for me because I'm fucking with your head.
Because I don't know if you're doing it on purpose because I did something wrong, or if you're just fucking with me.
Mwahaha. As it should be with this type of game.
Yes, it should.
So Evelyn woke me up. She's a lighter sleeper than I am.
Hmm.
And she woke up to the fire alarm. I went to go get our daughter. She went to go get our son. So I went and got Catherine. She went and got Chad, and then we got outside.
Did you see anyone while you were outside, probably exiting the scene?
No,
Any strange noises?
I mean the fire alarm was going off. That's pretty strange.
All right. Your wife mentioned that the house hasn't felt quite the same since.
I
Eh.
think she's just being a bit paranoid. It's probably some stupid kids.
Hmm. Now, it comes down to the issue as discussed earlier. We've been monitoring the house for the last couple days, and we were wondering if we could go ahead and set up some not cameras, microphones throughout the house. We believe the serial killer entered the house at one point. We were when,
You just fucking said serial killer, my dude. It's like, wait, what?
fuck. No, my bad. I fucked up. God damn it. See? This is why.
Meanwhile, you basically just hear a head hit a dashboard and over the mic.
God fucking damn it. See, this is why.
Because
This is why.
the
I knew I
captain was
fucked up.
expecting the specialist to fuck up, not the agent. It's like, God fucking damn it.
No, that was a trip on me because I'm just.
You
This
still
is too
said
much
it in
stress.
character, my dude.
I did. I fucked up.
I mean, you can
Yeah,
get. He's
wait,
not going to interrupt
serious.
you.
It's like, which leads into what I need to discuss with the family.
Yes, which leads into what I wanted to discuss with the family.
So you said there's a serial killer on the loose?
Yes, that's why I've been called in. This is a federal case from another state over. Unfortunately, we believe we tracked him down to this location, and we've seen him active in the house. So we wanted to set up microphones because to
Yeah.
see his entrance
Now,
points.
we're fairly
Now
certain
I'm just tripping over my words.
Yeah. Remember, when you come to a serial killer, always remember that you should probably point out the fact that serial killers rarely ever act quickly. They usually will scope out a target first, so we think we still have time.
Yeah.
To set up and figure out his entrance point before he actually tries anything.
Okay.
But it's
Fucked
very
it up,
important
now you
that you
gotta save
guys.
it.
Yeah, but it's very important that you all can pretend like everything's normal, so he doesn't catch on to the fact that we're here, or we may lose him again.
Right.
Come on, say it in character, because that was me over the radio.
I know.
piece.
I know.
I hope you know there are not earpieces in this time period, Pacific. At least not to that effectiveness.
Not to that effect. There was earpiece.
Nerves.
So
I'm gonna
that just
trip over my
comes over the
words.
fucking radio then.
Yes, hello, sir. Don't mind me. I'm the friendly driver.
This is
It's
how
okay.
you,
He'll never. It's okay, as I say without. I'm just saying this out of character. It's okay. He'll never see my face, so he'll never have a face to tie this voice to.
don't worry. Sure, you're free to ask fucking questions. This is a mess at this point.
This is a fucking
sorry.
mess because none of us were given information about what the fuck we actually have. So we're operating off of an assumption, and then we're told the assumption's wrong after we operate with the assumption.
I may have been fucking with you. Go with your fucking gut, guy.
I was, and then you told me my gut was fucking wrong. So now I'm just sitting here going like, well, you know what? If you aren't going to give us any information to even work with regarding the shit that we actually have on hand,
You have a blurry as shit video.
That's it, and that is
yes,
nothing
but
to
I'm
go
referring
on.
to our equipment. Because now we
Stairs
don't
that
even
you
know what the fuck equipment we have.
You didn't get any equipment. It was the shit you brought with you.
Yes, I know. But still would have been one of those things where it actually does state that military radios did come with an earpiece.
No, they didn't. I've
Yeah, they
used
did.
them. I know.
They actually do state that in the book, that the military radios that they're referring to in the book come with an
fucking radios
earpiece.
are they using then?
I don't know. It didn't state a model. It just says that it comes with an earpiece and mic.
Earpiece. That's not one of the ones where you stick it in your ear. No, that's the fucking phone. You completely misinterpreted that.
It literally said radio with an attached earpiece and mic.
Yes, Pacific. Have you ever seen what a fucking
I swear to God, if you're about to say a radio backpack in a game that's literally set in modern times.
Because the thing is, Pacific, what you're thinking is very different from how it's actually set up. You were thinking something substantially smaller.
Still, my point remains that this is still a clarification that should have happened.
Because even modern day, we don't have earpieces that function properly like that unless you are unless you are Secret Service. And even then, they're still iffy because of how small they are. The battery shits itself real fast. The military doesn't use those. They've never used those.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, like, it literally says that Ainz has one. Because it comes in his kit. Like, straight up states that it comes in his standard kit as military.
Yes. Would you like to know what a infantry radio looks like? I'm about to drop that picture for you in general. That is the mic and earpiece. It's the phone bit.
I give up. This is a fucking shit show.
It is.
Everything's gone horribly wrong because no one knows what the fuck we're even using. Because I was the only one, because out of everyone here, you're the only one who actually knows what even half this shit looks like or acts like.
You're free to ask me questions.
This is the point where it's practically unrecoverable, and we should probably just scrap the entire setting because we're all going to be executed afterwards anyways.
No, because nobody knows what's going on. So you're not in trouble yet.
Yes, which means
You're
that
fine.
they're probably going to start calling in other people, which means this is about to spiral completely out of control, and then we're fucked. So it doesn't matter if we're successful or not, we're all going to die.
The hell did I
You
miss?
haven't been caught yet. That's the thing. So it's not as much of a mess as everyone's thinking it is. It's salvageable. That's not a problem. They're still in the house.
They are still in the fucking house.
Somehow we haven't been caught yet, so it's fine.
It makes me start wondering if
Watching the
that's
cameras
really stupid.
So you're with the frog.
by yourself.
By yourself, because Frog is
The frog
sleeping
is
under
sleeping.
the bed.
In the same room.
Yeah. Once again, under the bed in case anyone walks in, so that they don't see him. I know this because Jacob actually mentioned it
Exactly.
before.
You can move around the one room. But you cannot leave that room if you want to continue staring at that cameras.
The one on the sleeping
Please,
frog.
please don't. This is going to go to crap.
Really
Please
don't. This is already a shit show.
Please don't, Paige.
The frog has a radio. You'd be able to hear it muffled under the bed. Unless the frog turned it off.
The frog is asleep. The frog will kill you. Don't touch the frog.
I would not.
The frog
Um,
gets a coffee while he's trying to sleep.
The frog isn't sleeping, though. That's what Jake was about to say, I imagine.
No, I was simply confirming. Yes, the frog has the military microphone with a throat mic. So, yeah, it's the slightly different one that's not a huge headset. It's designed where you can
The
essentially
downside
whisper
is
and
you
it
can't
picks
hear
that up.
anything through it.
Yeah, it's one way. I have a different headset and stuff, but I'm not wearing that while I'm sleeping. Because, I have someone in the room with me to wake me up if stuff goes down. I don't need a bunch of stuff in my headset. I'm still confused on what's going on because I went to do chores and I come back and everything's gone to shit apparently.
It has gone out the window.
I did a little bit.
Because instead of what we had planned, Aussie over here just busts out instantly the fact that it's a serial killer to them.
By accident, yes.
Instead of, mentioning it to the family first. And apparently everyone can hear anything that's said over the radio anyways, which honestly would have been an important piece of information to know yesterday when we were fucking using them. Because we were under the assumption only people who had radios could hear what was on the other end.
You can turn it off. That's a thing you can do.
No, turning off it makes it just completely useless for what we're trying to do.
But it is not a headset and throat mic esque thing like Jacob has, because, well, Jacob
And I
specifically.
tell
did
you, that's
throat
what
mic.
it stated. Because Ainz actually does get the special operatives kit too.
Yeah, he has literally the exact same kit I have.
So,
And
it's a
I'm a
throat-
captain. I could pretty easily have requisitioned that.
Yeah, night vision
He
goggles,
was actually
military.
the exact same division as him, might I add.
Yeah, the thing is, First Cav isn't Spec Ops.
They're the advanced reconnaissance guys, and they
We're the
run the
recon.
same kit.
You're recon, but recon normally doesn't.
Lucas,
Recon
I'm
has
telling you, the game itself, the very handbook, gives him the exact same thing that Jacob has
Christ. This
as
is
his
a nightmare.
standard kit. And I'm attached to his
Yeah,
division
Sits here with
with
fucking
with a
military
hell of a
knowledge.
lot higher rank than him.
Yeah,
The
they
fuck do you
tried to
mean I
just
couldn't get
narrow
better
things
gear?
down. Yeah, the direct thing is military band radio with earpiece and throat microphone is the full encompassment of the military radio we have.
Yeah, that was the one I was going off of. And then I was informed by Lucas that no, we have the fucking telephone one.
You didn't tell me throat piece.
Because I'm not reading directly out of the fucking book.
That's a very important distinction. Like, you wouldn't be able to hear Authy. Important distinction.
Authy has Ainz's radio currently.
Exactly. A throat mic means you have to press on it to use it. It is not sound pickup
Yep.
immediately. That is
Yep.
a conscious use microphone. You wouldn't have heard shit Authy
Where
said.
is the button? Where is the button on that actually?
It's
On the side.
throat piece.
It's on the sides.
You mean
But
someone can't
effectively,
just clip something onto that just to keep the button pressed?
that is not how it functions, because you have to press both sides.
Piece
Like
of
I
tape.
said, we can't just clip something onto it.
Fuck a hair.
I hope you realize
hair
that a
clip.
clip does press it on both sides.
For the size of a human neck, it goes
Have you
around
actually
your
sent
neck.
me an actual picture of where the hell the buttons are on the person? Because I guarantee you there is some way to rig it so that it's always on.
What does this thing
It's on
look
the-
like?
It's on the front part of the neck.
It is, yeah, it's on the front part. It's throat. It's right by the vocal cords.
Yep.
So that way you don't have to talk loud to use it.
Where is this thing? There's the.
It kind of looks like a collar. It is a fucking collar.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and I'm still saying that can in fact be pretty easily set up so that it has both the buttons pressed without you having to constantly move your hand up.
Yeah.
How would you have rigged that? Because you might have to make a roll depending on what it is.
Why the fuck can't I find a fucking clear picture? I can't find a picture
Sure.
where they actually show the damn mic. You know, like where they actually show the damn buttons on this thing.
Specific. Think a headset. It looks kind of like that without a mic on it. That goes around your throat instead of on your head. That's exactly what it looks like. And where you would have the
Yes, I know that part. I'm looking for where exactly it placed the buttons.
The Nazis had it.
yes, it's throat mics are very old. They've been used since the Second World War for pilots.
still looking for where exactly they put the button. Okay, that's a button, but that looks more like a much more modern one.
This is probably the most accurate thing. It's still modern, but
Can
That's
I ask you?
1991.
Can I ask a question? What do I roll to see if I spot anything?
Transponder, speaker, acoustic coil. That's the clasp. That's the splitter. That would be
PTT.
switch. Wait, the PTT switch.
it's very modern.
Search,
Is
I
what I can
think.
tell. But
I think it's search. Unless there's a perception roll. I don't think there is.
technically, that would work just without that little earpiece.
What, that thing? No,
Technically,
it would include the. It
Is
would
that
actually
not
include the
working?
earpiece.
really.
I
The
do believe it
earpiece
should be
part
search.
is not new.
Yeah, true.
That was one of the first things that they actually fixed with that, from the original headset that they were using with the tank operators.
How about this? Is this accurate enough for you, Pacific?
Heinz, that still does not help. You know why? Because I'm looking for the buttons.
Your mic is working. I said roll search.
I did not hear you. My apologies.
I said it 3 times.
Yeah, he's said.
I heard it.
Search.
That is a fail. So you
Well,
don't see shit.
at the very least, you got to put a check mark on your sheet. Where is the?
Dang.
Which one of these fucking things is the button?
It made me learn history.
Lucas, you know what's great? When every diagram you ever see of this device never shows you where the button is to actually turn it on.
I'm about to watch a YouTube video of how to use this.
God damn it.
But I have to find the fucking button on these things.
Pacific. Look at that. Tell me what you think that button. Tell me where you think the button is. I gave you the most simplified version I could. Literally one place.
This one looks like the one you would plug up to that big box, the one I had put.
No, this just connects straight to our radio.
It's on the neck. Physically push down the neck. At least from what I can get from the videos.
Exactly. Where the little headphone looking pieces are, you push on those and it pushes it into your vocal cords.
And
Which
you
is
have
how
to
it picks up the sound.
and you have to physically push on both of them.
Yes. So you don't accidentally trigger it.
Oh god, I could just use my own sister's headband for that.
I don't think anybody has a fucking headband here.
Yeah, it was like $3 or $4
Excuse
at the
me.
store. It was just a cheap plastic one, but the damn
Has
thing
a-
but the damn thing, if you wear it on your neck, it actually would push that in. Because it was just, because I should know. I did that once. Actually, for some godforsaken reason that I don't remember why, but I've done that once, and that actually would do that. No real checks required, and it's incredibly cheap to go get one.
I have one.
Sitting here like I'm not fucking stopping you.
Yes, my point is, it is entirely possible for us to have just done everything that we've done here without the family even being aware, because shit could be hidden by his collar. Depends on how he's decided to do up his shirt today.
I don't think you're gonna hide a headband though.
It wasn't a very thick one. I don't know if my sister even has that headband still. It was one of the thin plastic ones.
Either way,
Uh,
we are
s-
very
stays
off
in Park
topic at
West.
this point.
Can we pretend that man
You're
didn't
the
hear
one
any
who
of this?
said, "How the fuck would I rig that to actually work?" Answer: It's a
I
fucking
asked you a
plastic
question,
headband.
and then you took like 20 fucking minutes to answer it.
Yeah, that's because I needed to figure out where the fuck the buttons were, so I could figure out which.
I
What
told
item
you
I need to
3
clip it.
goddamn times, Pacific.
No, you
Nobody
said,
listens
"Where
to
do
the
you
GM.
think?" No, you
Yeah,
kept saying,
that
"Where do you
was
think?
after
Where do you
time
think? Where do
fucking
you think?"
2.
And then you said it's on the headphone pieces.
Pacific. That was after time fucking 2 of me trying to explain it. You shut me down twice and didn't let me finish.
God. Now I
There's
have
the
the
button.
dogs trying to fight out here. Give me a moment. The hell are you two doing? Bruce, stop stealing Zoe's food.
Combat knife.
Back to you guys' discussion in there.
Yes, you two are kind of on the fucking shit show at the moment.
Wait, no. He heard
Boss.
none of that.
He wouldn't. We've already deduced that given just the type of radio we're using, the other guy wouldn't have heard my half of it. Which also means he still has no explanation until Athi actually opens his mouth and says what I said.
But did you rig up the thing to where you heard what Authy said?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. We're good then. What was the last thing I said?
The last thing you said was you accidentally let slip that I was a serial killer, and then you heard my head hit the dashboard in a sort of I'm driving facepalm.
Right. So we were hoping to set up microphones throughout the house, because we have a certain time frame before, or they usually like to stock out their areas a little
We're
bit
still in the stalking time frame.
beforehand. So we are in a certain time frame right now. So we're hoping to catch him just before then.
Why? Because he follows a pattern, and we're vaguely aware. We actually are aware of what the pattern is. We just haven't had a chance to catch him this early on in the pattern as we have now.
Sitting here like, how would a person fucking react to being told their family's being used as bait?
Use as bait. It's that if they move, it's that if the family decides to react, then technically they're indirectly responsible for however many more people this guy kills when they denied us the chance to catch him before he had a chance to do this again and again and again.
And again.
Yes, Pacific. You know
Because
how
we
many
actually have a
murders?
chance here, and we're not sure when we're going to get a chance again.
The other thing is, you were asking this man to let his wife and kids be used as bait, and yes, it is fucking bait.
For a
can't spin it
single
otherwise.
night, we just need to get roughly the idea of how he got into the house so that we can cut off his escape route when we go to get him in the morning. You could even point out the fact that we plan on going in, that we plan on trying to either get him in the morning or the next night. We just need to know how he's getting in so that we can stop him from getting away.
Well, it just
Trying to
depends
figure
on
out
how
this
he
man's gonna
reacts
react to
first.
this shit.
Yeah, depending on what I have to say is how he reacts.
Honestly, you could even point out the fact that he's already set his sights on the family. If they move, because they end up moving now, and he realizes that something's up, he might just up and follow them and decide to act now instead of later, just to spite us. Serial killers be crazy.
I know,
Yes,
but I
serial
have to wait for his
killers typically
reaction.
don't act on people they think are aware of them, because it means they're more likely to get caught.
Well, no, actually, that depends upon the serial killer, because some of them actually have done that before, where they just up and killed the victims and then immediately moved on.
Yes, but also 40% of murders go unsolved in the U.S., so Your odds are pretty fucking high of not getting caught. Hmm.
Good lord.
He looks
We had
very
a plan.
concerned.
We had
We
an
understand
approach.
that this may be a stressful situation for you, but we promise you there's going to be no harm to you or your family.
Especially
If we can
since
catch
we're
him
only
now, we can
50.
reduce the damage to anybody else. This man has already harmed a lot of people, and if you guys leave, he may follow after you. Right now, it's the safest thing for you to do is stay in your house and act like you're unaware of the situation while we monitor.
While we monitor and then move
We
in
have,
when we have a
yeah,
chance, because we will have a chance before he gets a chance to do anything.
because no matter what, we will have a chance before he gets to do anything.
This is a persuasion check. This is a really tough fucking sell. If you were talking to Evelyn, it'd be much easier. This
And
guy was
this
never
is
a
why,
cop.
yeah, this guy wasn't the cop.
Pass.
And this is why we had Authy go in and do it, because his persuade is 10 higher than mine.
This one might actually come down to such as how half
Yeah,
and
but
otherwise.
he
You actually
just
kind
said,
of have to say.
It's okay because I rolled a 2.
oh shit, yeah, no, that's a pass. That's a
Yeah,
pass.
it doesn't
That's a
fucking
pass
matter
even
what
on
your
a person
reduction
who
is.
isn't trained for persuasion.
Again, it's one of those situations where that one might actually want to say what you passed with and how much.
Yeah.
That's a 2. This is a check again.
A 70.
A 70. Oh shit, that's a critical success. That was almost just a natural 1.
He's real wary. It was like, how long do you think it's gonna take to catch him?
Most likely we'll be able to catch him in the morning or next night at work.
From what we observed, he's sticking to his pattern, which means if we can't catch him on his way out in the morning, we can easily catch
Yeah.
him at at the start of next night when he returns.
Yes. So he follows a certain pattern. We're vaguely aware of what that is. So far, he's stuck with it throughout this scene. So we'll be able to catch him within the time frame.
But only if he isn't aware of the fact that we know he's here.
But only if he isn't aware of the fact that we're here.
It's
Fuck.
funny because my favorite thing about this is if they talk, Authy, your story's not gonna hold up. Would you want to know why?
Why?
You told the wife it was a hate crime you were here for.
Well, we're
I
not
didn't want to
supposed
frighten the family at the time.
No,
just
we
because
told them that we came in to investigate a hate crime. We never explained why a federal agent was coming in to
This is
investigate
true.
a hate crime. You know why? Because we're covering for the fact that we're still looking for a serial killer, and we needed to figure out whether or not this was connected to that case. We know it's connected to the case now, and just because it's a serial killer does not necessarily mean it isn't a hate crime.
Yeah.
Every single one of them has an MO.
This is fairly.
Yeah.
We're
For all
pretty
we know,
covered.
for all we know, he actually could have been targeting the family specifically because it was the mixed race couple.
Yeah, this guy wants to take a seat and take all this in because this is a lot of information and very, very.
Also, what color are the children?
They're black.
I was curious about that too.
Okay,
I think
so
I don't think she's the mother of the kids.
no, that's what was specified, but he could have been in a interracial relationship previously, and or the children could be adopted. So it was more so we could spin this in. Maybe he doesn't like white people. Maybe he doesn't like black people. We can make the victim whoever we want because we are in fact the ones who have created this murderer.
Yeah.
The point is, though, we do have our bases covered here. There's a reason why we went with serial killer, because at the very least, that's a wide number of potential MOs that we could spin off of.
Not my Fruit Loops.
Not my Fruit Loops.
I'm cuckoo for Fruit Loops. Anyway,
So the
It's-
permission to
I,
set up the microphones so that we can at least find his entry point.
yes, I do ask if I can set up the microphones.
So it's just like, so you need to set up microphones throughout the house.
Yeah, it's
The
just a.
heavy traffic areas. We won't need to put them
I do know that part. Yeah, just the heavy traffic areas of the house. So both doors, and a couple of the hallways.
Hallways, the living room.
Yes.
All
Do
right.
state though that we may want to put one in the crawl space since one of the marks was found in there.
I do relay that.
Yeah, because remember the wife did mention that she would mention to her husband the fact that a mark was found in the crawl space.
Yes, I do recall this.
I know that was more of me mentioning to Lucas that that was in fact a thing.
Mm-hmm.
The husband should be aware right now because he was supposed to be informed last night.
By his wife.
Yep.
Yes. So relay to husbando.
Yep.
And he assumed that he give permission to set up.
He did.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna go set that up and leave Ein to talk to the child.
With mom following.
Nothing I can do about that, unfortunately.
You roll the
Yeah,
2 on
we can't
fucking
do
persuade.
much about that, but Eins.
Huh?
The only
I
thing
rolled
can
the 2
say
on
is
persuade with the
don't.
father, not the mother.
Yeah.
I know.
All I can say is don't
Actually,
fuck
you
up.
know what? Here's what I can do.
Because
I'm
if
gonna
you
grab
fuck
the mother
up,
before the
you will be killed.
I said, "Excuse me, ma'am. I know you wanted to be with your child during the period of investigation, but all what the fuck were the words? I literally forgot the word of.
You should probably say, but I actually have something that I need to speak to you with, preferably outside the kids' earshot. I would rather they not have anything
Yes.
bogging them, bogging down their conscience.
I
while
literally
they're
forgot the
doing their work.
word for asking them questions. Fuck.
Well, unless you mean
Questioning?
interrogation, it's just
No, I don't
questioning.
Yeah.
Interrogation's
Yes,
the less friendly version.
I
Hmm.
do tell the mother I need to pull her aside and that I have to have the children questioned in private due to regulations.
Yes, to prevent any tampering with the actual story.
Yes, to prevent evidence tampering.
You may also want to point out that you do need to discuss something with her as
Yeah,
as
and I would
well,
like
so
to
this time frame
inform
works.
her on the situation. Go ahead, bring her into the living
Can't you
room with
talk
the.
to me about it after we finish talking to my children?
It's very urgent.
It is very important and something I'm fairly certain you would not want your kids hearing.
Discord keeps fucking up. I didn't hear you.
No, it's very urgent and something I'm certain you don't want your kids hearing
Yeah,
about.
it's very urgent and something I don't believe you want your kids hearing.
You could probably wait until after talking to the kids.
This is still
How
one of
does
those
the
points
human
where
brain work, boys?
I
I
would
know
like to
all of
point
us are
out
horrible
she
in
would
social situations, but
I
how
would
does
like to point out she still would know as a cop that she can't, that even if she was in the room, she can't actually interfere with.
I know.
Hmm.
She just wants to sit in and make sure you don't hassle the children. As a parent, they kind of have that right, unless you convince them otherwise.
You may want to actually state to her, this is about the case.
Man, this is about the case.
And
We discovered new
sure
evidence.
yeah. Very time sensitive.
And it's extremely time sensitive
Case has just become a very
information.
sensitive matter, so
Yes.
This is somebody that was a cop.
I
It just
understand.
became
They-
a very tough. We
Knows.
don't really do right now.
It's just like, my husband's here. Did you talk to him about it?
Yes, and I believe he may want to speak to you on the matter as well. This is
Then we
a
can
very
all sit
critical
down
situation.
after talking to the kids and, well, asking the kids any questions, and then you can go into
At
greater
this point, I
detail
think
with
there's only one way of getting her to
Just-
listen.
Just parks the car,
Or-
and you just hear, well, actually, you wouldn't even hear this because I've just defrost the throat. Like thud, thud, thud. God damn, cop,
Forget,
woman.
it is also technically within her legal rights to be there.
I
to
know. So
watch,
you're
It
going.
is.
So you're not
so-
going to need to actually give her a reason.
This is fully within her legal rights that she's
simply,
aware of.
Just allow her to sit.
I know, but the problem is, this is one of those things where it actually is a time.
And the
We
problem is,
aren't
we can't
joking
really let him
about
set
this.
in because we're asking questions about the little imaginary friend, and she can sign language.
Yeah,
She
she
can
knows sign
understand.
language, but we aren't lying here. This is actually time-sensitive information, and we are working within a time.
I think the only way to go about this is to tell her that this is a situation of safety for her family.
Or I could, do it properly, but I honestly don't trust Ainz. I'm sorry. No, this is honestly one of those situations. Depending on how you phrase things, you can discuss something with someone and have someone else in the room have no idea what's going on.
But you can also make certain situations more palatable depending on how you phrase things.
Exactly. So that's why it's like,
It doesn't even have to be Ainz that has to make it palatable. Offie's playing a brute force character
It's
when
like
evidently by his stats he is not a brute force character.
Shut up.
You are Loki, you are not Thor.
look.
I am Thor.
I am trying to be Loki, but I'm being kind of pseudo ran here.
All right, Otley, how do you intend to actually get her pulled aside for this? Well, Ian's questions the child about the imaginary friend.
Honestly, at this point, the only
Actually,
method I'm
Ian's just
thinking is.
Offie, I want you to
What?
think about this from the perspective of the with a parent in the room. In any fucking situation.
You'd want your parents there, yes.
Offie,
What?
when you're at the doctor and they ask you if you are sexually active, if your mom is there and you are a teenager, what
You
is your
lie.
immediate response?
No, no,
You
You're
lie.
absolutely
going
not.
to
I'm
lie.
still a virgin. Please.
Just
Change
point
the
out
line
the
of
fact
questioning.
that the child is also going to
Fine.
lie about anything that we ask him. Like, regarding the specific subject matter, the child might actually lie to us if you're in the room just to avoid worrying you.
I'm literally kicking you guys in the ass at this point.
I keep going like, look, man, she should know this
Why am I the medium here for the bullying?
because you're the
Maybe
one
you should
who's
frog.
based.
You were literally the face. This is basic human information.
Ah!
God
I,
damn it, Mr. FBI agent, you're the face.
I was trying to meme.
The meme is going to get you.
Fine,
This is Delta
fuck.
Green. We don't have room for memes until we're actually fighting the thing.
I am the closest.
I
thing
go
to
ahead and
a
just
meme,
inform
and
the
it's terrifying.
Yeah.
ma'am. We trying to pull it back, as ma'am. We can't have you in the room with the child because the child most likely will lie with you around. We can't get an
Give
honest
me
test.
a persuasion check.
Fine, fuck
She's a
you.
cop. She should know this. I
Yes,
doubt this is the
but
first
mother,
time
but
someone
maternal.
has
Pass.
a child.
There, you passed. Pacific. The thing is, maternal instincts kick in.
Yes, as opposed to also her training.
That she hasn't done in years at this point.
Does it?
Not ghost children.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Guys, oh god,
Too
am I
stupid.
back?
Yes. Paige,
Yeah.
you're slightly robot. And we find the situation has been remedied. I told you it was salvageable.
This was not salvageable. This was us hitting our head against the wall because Ozzy here is stumbling over his words and Ainz has a chance.
I haven't
I
got
just
Can't
never fell
wait to
asleep.
see how
What?
worse it gets.
Ainz is just sitting there at fucking parade rest.
Mine's is under the bed.
My character's a good talker. I'm not. I was prepared. I was prepared, but I wanted to get everything more planned out, and then we just got fucked with it today.
God. Okay. Snoozing noises.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So,
Time for me to throw crap together.
So you're going upstairs. Whose room do you go to first?
The girl, the child, the small, the
Catherine's.
Yes, Catherine.
Catherine.
You have been told that daughter is Kathleen, son is Chad.
Got it.
Yes, we're dealing with a Chad.
I will. I will open the door. Does child notice me?
Child is doing homework.
I will get child. She's doing it on a desk. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will slightly knock on the desk to get child's attention.
You're knocking on the desk.
Yes. Deaf child, let me make noise to get attention.
Hold
No,
on.
no,
What
no,
kind?
no,
What
hold
kind
on.
of
I'm more
desk
Ah,
is
yes, this works.
Can I defend
Wait,
this?
what kind of desk?
No, that
Hold on.
Die!
the thing is
What
that
I'm
would
trying
work
to say,
because
yeah.
Yeah.
It would, because it makes
Vibrations.
vibrations.
Yeah.
However, I'm still just going to insult Ainz.
I did it for the vibrations without touching the child.
yeah, he just wanted to insult you. This is,
There's also much easier ways to do this.
but you get
I'm
the child.
still going to insult you.
I'm still saying it could work because the degree of how well it works depends entirely upon. But yes, it would work.
I really
So-
hope that she notices the vibrations.
You have child's attention. They're
Alright.
gonna look at you very confused.
I will sign language. Hello. I am Agent Time. I got permission from your.
Yes.
I got permission from your mom to ask you some questions.
She will sign back. I'm Catherine. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Do I see any? I would like to slightly bold a little bit. But do I see any type of any art or anything in there in her room?
You could just ask her if she's, if anything strange has happened in the last little while.
She has a toy chest, but she doesn't have any art up on the walls or anything like that.
Also, objection, Pacific. Stop leading the questioner.
He doesn't have the radio anymore.
I know.
You gotta let him know.
over there is going to Mine's over here is going to fucking die.
I wanted to
I
try
can't
and build
wait.
positive
It's gonna
rapport
be
with the
great.
child. This is what my social worker did, okay?
That means you might actually have some experience with being able to do this correctly. But she has the
don't
toy
fuck
chest.
up.
Alright.
Oh wait, it's
Sai-
Ainz.
Fuck you. Sai, do you want to play a game while I ask you questions?
She's going to look at her homework, set it off to the side, and then go over to the toy chest. And she's going to go through and pick out some toys.
How old is this child again?
10.
Got it.
This is a small child.
Got it.
He's gonna somehow fuck this up, isn't he?
So, what type of toys does the child grab?
So, wait, what was the question?
What type of toys does the child grab?
Uh, dolls and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So, stuff a 10-year-old girl would be given in the 90s.
Got it.
Maybe a fucking
So much Barbie.
maybe,
So much Barbie and American Girl dolls.
and maybe
Oh,
a
God.
Furby. Those
Yeah,
soulless creatures.
There's
Those
definitely
Oh
disgusting
God.
things.
I had one of those once. I
I
buried
had
it.
one of those. It scared me, so I threw it in a wood chipper when my family rented a wood chipper.
Oh God.
Furbies are horrifying.
They
It
are.
still made sounds while getting chipped.
Did it by any chance sound like screaming?
No, no.
Well, that's a little bit more unnerving, actually.
It was like, Furby, want to play?
Fucking hell.
I was just like, go away! Stop existing!
I think I think Furbies are still made. That's the thing.
They are.
Horrifying little things. But we're gonna continue on and ignore the Furby in the background.
Yeah, let's not pay attention to the Furby. Alright. Mm. Question. What? Right. Do you have? I'm not gonna say do you have friends because I feel like she does. That's not. That's not my question. Do you have any friends that visit your house?
Not really.
Hmm. Do you have any imaginary friends?
Yes.
Hmm. What do they look like?
People.
This is happening in between playing with the dolls, by the way. Uh, when do you hang out with these imaginary friends?
Whenever I feel bad.
Do they have names?
No.
I see.
Hang on, let me check something real quick. That be actually. Trying to figure out the fuck that role would be. It's not that. Not that. It's not that. I'm trying to figure out what an insight would be.
Um,
On this sheet.
Well, what do
It's
we have?
humans.
Human.
The thing I just
Yeah.
rolled.
Yeah, human. Alright. Keeping that in mind.
right. Mm, are your imaginary friends tall, short?
Kind of tall.
Hmm. Is there anything imagine? Is there something your imaginary friends can do? Something cool
They're
or
imaginary. They
interesting?
can do whatever I want them to.
That is true. Hmm. Do any of them show up specifically at night?
Mm, no.
Hmm. Pacific, did you give me a description of what that shadow thing looked like?
Oh, you mean tall, dark, and gruesome?
Yeah, that thing.
It would not be a description you could possibly give the child just because it was very vague and nondescript. It was just humanoid and
Ah.
black. You try describing that to a kid like this, they're just gonna think, "You mean my dad?" She, honestly, no. It wouldn't have mattered if I gave you a description.
Mm. Mm. Okay. Let's see. Did Did you play with any of your imaginary friends last night?
Give me another human.
What? Me?
Give me another human roll.
He
I
never
didn't.
rolled
He
human.
I never
never
rolled
rolled the
one.
first
Ah.
one.
I wanted
I
you to
was-
roll that. You did. Yeah, I wanted him to roll it. Not you,
Yeah.
Jakob.
I'm
Yeah,
aware.
but Jacob
I
rolled it
to
just to
show
tell
To,
you
you
what it
to
was.
show me.
I
So
don't
you got to
have a.
give me. That was your first one. I'm not
Oh,
don't-
expecting you to pass.
I don't
Yeah.
have a good. I don't have a good one of these. Oh, that's
Well,
the
put a
best I
check
could have
mark on
gotten.
it for failing.
Well,
This is why I said I should have gone. But no.
Well, to be fair, you're big scary frog man.
Yeah. And I can be asked to look like something different.
by the way, I forgot to put my point in you.
You could have mentioned that.
I didn't put any of my points out, but I have them on this note thing.
God damn it. Einz, take a snip of what's on your notepad for those stats and send it to Lucas now before you
Here,
Yes.
start signing them.
Uh, um,
So I
okay.
Because
actually
that's
fucking
something you
know.
need to inform him about.
Here,
Because
I just
big differences here on what that could mean for you. Because we might have to roll the clock.
hold.
Well, not
Everything else was
necessarily this.
everything else was combat related except for the humid. So
Yeah, so no, since we haven't had combat, we won't need to roll back the clock this time.
No, we might because there's an important thing that I would have come up with the previous roll.
um, that's it.
Well, that's the
Done.
thing though. If you put a point into it, it would only be a 30%. That first roll wouldn't have come up with anything. The second
Okay.
roll is the one that where it would have been different.
Yeah, there we go.
So you have it on your sheet now, I guess.
Yep, just put it on the sheet.
Heinz,
I forgot. I was doing other things like a
God
background for
fucking
Authy's thing, and
damn it.
I was doing
Trust us,
background
we're
for Authy's
professionals.
thing. My extra ability for the wizard for Gray the wizard.
Why are you so far behind on all of your sheets?
Trust us, we're professional.
No,
Trust
we're
me,
not.
I'm a professional, says Ainz, who hasn't assigned like half of his points.
But
There, fix it.
Ainz,
It's at
Now
she
30.
is, yeah, Ainz, she's a little shocked by the whole, were you playing with them last night? And then she's just gonna sign to you. No.
I will keep that in mind. Um, are do your imaginary friends ever do something you don't want them to do?
Not really.
Hmm. Did I ask the question of if your imaginary friends show up during the day? Only a lot during the day.
No.
Alright.
At least I
Do your
didn't really think
imaginary
of it, but
I guess not. Do your imaginary friends show up during the day?
No. I'm not home during the day.
So you only see that at home.
I only need them at home.
Why do you need them at home but nowhere else?
I have friends other places. I go to school. I come home. I do homework.
Uh, how many imaginary friends do you have?
One.
And I'm still letting you know you're bad at this.
Shut up.
Yeah, you kind of suck at this.
Shut up. All right. These
I
were
wonder if the
questions.
scientists could have been better at this.
It's not
Shut up.
as bad as you could have been. However,
This is better than we were expecting.
yes.
Yes.
Improvement.
Now don't fuck it up before you're done,
Okay.
or we will be sorely disappointed in you.
I mean, will you expect anything different?
Once again, this is one of those games where I have every legal right to execute you if you fuck this up.
Yeah, I know. All right. When did you start seeing your imaginary friends?
I don't remember.
Hmm. Some other questions they would ask. They would have taken me away by now.
I mean, you were effectively given free reign to go talk to the kids.
Yeah. Uh, I'm gonna I'm gonna ask to talk to her again after I finish asking her brother questions.
All right. We're actually going to cut. Offie,
Yes.
we're gonna give Ein some time to think.
Thank you, God.
So, yeah. Now you got to sit down and talk to the wife and husband.
All right. So I sit the wife down, and so I've already gone over the situation with your husband. Would you like to inform her?
He's gonna look at you. He's looking kind of out of it right now.
And the situation is a little more dire than we expected. We've linked a certain pattern to a serial killer from the next state over, and we are here to investigate that. We believe he is targeting this house, and we want you all to remain active, normal as always, because we're going to catch him before you do any harm to you. And we're going to be setting up microphones throughout the house, see if he is, to see if we can catch him because we're kind of in a golden period right now.
All right.
And we need to make sure we got to catch this guy. If we lose him here, we're probably going to lose him for good.
So just act normal.
Act normal, and I promise you, we'll keep you safe. Pretend We were never here. And of course, we're going to set up microphones throughout the major areas of the house plus the crawl space. Because we're not sure if he has an entrance and exit way through that area. We'll most likely be able to get him in the morning. He's following his current pattern that we've been able to track. I guess for now, we're not quite sure how he's moving or not quite what his pattern is, but he's currently still sticking to it. So we know we've got time. So we need you all to stay in the house and act normal.
All right. Is that all you needed to talk to me about?
I figured you'd have any questions for me.
I know how this works.
Understandable. But for the most part, I figured you'd want ask questions or figure this out. But I'm glad it was able to be handled pretty quickly. And we apologize for putting this on to your family.
If he does get, well, if they get into the house, I will defend my family.
Completely understandable. If you do engage, we will be in an immediate. If he breaks into the house at any point, we will act instantly and take him into custody. We'll be monitoring the house all night long.
All right. And at this point, we will hop back over to Irons.
I did what
No.
I could.
No.
Question: what time is it?
I will tell you this. Musk is going to be sitting down there for a good bit because playing with the kid, you probably did this over the span of just talking to her was probably over the span of 45 minutes.
That's fine. My question stands. What time is it?
I have to factor that in, Jakob. Because he'd probably get home at around 6. You probably came by, what would you say, 30 minutes later?
Hell no. This is up to Ollie.
It ain't up to me at all, broski.
That works.
So,
It's now 7:15, correct?
it would be yes.
In the morning?
Evening.
Mm. Frog is well awake.
Frog now wakes up to coffee next to him.
Under the bed?
It's right
and
outside.
He's probably
the
been
end of the bed.
listening in if he remembered to put back on his headset.
To put it
Yeah,
simply,
most
think of-
definitely, because
think of it as.
last I heard.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll allow you to do your coffee here in a second. Last I heard, we were trying to get in contact with them in the morning, so I did, Frog is snoozing, and
Yeah,
then went out to do chores.
Oh, yeah, that would do it. Yeah, no, we shifted it to evening when the family was home. Give us time to go get the things that we
Okay.
needed.
So after 6 hours, Frog is awake and sitting next to, which then means that we'll do a bit of backtracking here in a second. I have stuff I have to do. Requisitions need to be made. Anyway.
All right. Irons.
Okay.
You go to talk to Chad.
Time for me to fucking die.
sitting there doing his homework at his desk.
Mm. This time I don't have to knock on the table to get child's attention.
Yep.
Just gonna clear my throat.
And he'll look at you. So,
Hello. Hello. I'm I'm I am Agent Times. Can I ask you some questions?
uh, sure. What about?
Mm, nothing that serious. Mm, Does I will just sit down and be like, so, have you had any friends visit your home recently?
No, I normally don't bring him home with me.
Mm. Have you noticed anything off around the house?
You mean other than the whole shit getting carved into the front of the house?
This kid
Yeah.
just swear.
No. This is a 16-year-old guy.
Ah,
I don't have to treat him like a child.
Nope.
All right. You seen anything off recently?
No. Other than the shit that happened with the door.
Hmm. Anything? Hmm.
Ein, be very careful. I have a feeling you're about to screw up.
What do you mean? It's not about to bitch slap the kid.
Don't bitch slap a person unless you actually
I
have
just,
evidence.
I just said I'm not going. I just said I'm not going to. Uh, do you mind telling me your tale of what happened that night?
So you want him to just give you an account of what happened with him?
Yeah, I got at least ask one of the same questions as Hoffley.
I mean, mom came in and woke me up. There was smoke. Fire alarm was going off when we went outside.
Hmm. Mm. No one has went to check the backyard. Is what I've realized.
I
You know,
did!
except for Paige.
And there was
Wait, did you?
nothing.
There was
Yeah, she
no.
did.
There was nothing burnt. Then how did the fire come from the backyard?
Somebody threw something back there to start a fire.
Hmm. Well, that's weird. All right. Mm. Don't want to make these questions obvious, but I don't want to be too discreet so that I can't get an answer. Mm. Can we go back to Aussie?
nope.
God dang it!
Authy doesn't have any more conversation to go with.
Dang it!
At this point, I'm setting up the cameras.
Mm. Have you noticed any of the lights being on when they shouldn't be on in the house? Anything like that? Fucking
No.
too obvious.
I mean, from what I'm told, Catherine's a light sleeper and she'll read sometimes. But aside from that,
Hmm. I don't have any questions for the male child. I didn't. I didn't have time to think of them. I had actual notes for like the questions we are gonna ask the little girl. They were vague, but they were notes. Uh,
Just sitting here like, I wonder. Maybe you could ask about shit that has happened to the goddamn house.
shut shut up.
Something nobody's bothered asking questions about other than to the fucking mother.
Any?
Well, I asked the fucking
You
father,
asked
and he.
Dad. Yes. Ainz has completely avoided those questions.
I went more for the fact of the person that disappeared. I didn't have time to do all my questions. Okay, I'm just going off of vague notes that I wrote, that I scribbled.
This is why you want
Ainz.
better notes like downhill.
I didn't get to do notes yet. I was gonna make them for the session
Keep
Thursday.
going, me boy.
Gotta keep going. There's no way
You can
out.
always leave him.
No. I'm gonna finish the questioning. You noticed anything weird? Any weird feeling about the house? Anything at all?
Kinda, but I'm pretty sure it's just Mom freaking out. She's gets a bit too concerned sometimes, but that's just how she is.
Hmm. So you haven't had any weird
Wait.
feelings?
Wait. Hold on. I just noticed something. You called
Hmm.
that person Catherine earlier, right?
That's his younger sister, yes.
Okay. Did not know her name till now.
Actually, Aussie, while you're setting up the microphones, you do get a message from me because I just realized something. Did they have fire alarm? Like, did they have smoke detectors outside the house? Because the fire was started in the backyard, according to their official statement. And yet
Right
they said
next to
that
the
they
door.
all. Yeah, but they also said that they all woke up to smoke. Next to the fire alarm going off.
Pacific, smoke can get in under the door.
Oh wait, hold on. My character
And yet
would know this.
Paige was pointed
Hold
to
on.
a spot on the yard instead of just
Pro,
at the door.
I gotta ask you this. How far was the fire from the house?
That's like, stupid can.
Because you see, she hadn't asked the distance.
Just a little weird how that actual description went.
It would have
Pro?
been next to the door stoop going down
Sorry,
outside.
just had to state that because that seemed just a little off.
Because
Because I remember that not yesterday, last time that
that
we
is
ran,
part of the yard.
Paige was pointed to a spot in the yard rather than at the door
Pacific.
as
The
being where the
yard is
fire
everything
was.
that's outside of the house in a fenced-in area. Although that might be a southern thing, so.
Stop using my interjection as cover for you to come up with questions. Talk!
Ah!
God!
I can
No,
tell.
he's not going to.
I can scream. I scream this.
You gotta talk, my boy.
I have to talk.
Hmm.
What do I have to talk about?
Not you, Authy.
All right. I understand. I'll do the chores. Okay. Do things. Okay.
I think we're about to lose Ainz.
Am I just unable to hear Ryan's? Because
He
he
said
came
he
off
had to
mute
go
for
do
a little bit and
chores.
then went
What?
right back into mute.
No, he said he was
Sure.
gonna get him done. He can still talk.
Hello.
Oh dear, I can't hear him. Give me a moment.
Yes, I understand. Trash. Yes, father.
Oh, there we go. I can hear again.
Trash can is not overflowing. It's just slightly full.
Quick question:
No
how
longer
much of
looking
everyone else's conversations did I just miss?
Yeah,
Not
I'll put
much.
that in.
So we can get to specific. What are you messaging the oath?
Well, no, I don't need to message him now if it actually was at the fucking doorstep, because I just realized that there was like an inconsistency there when Paige was pointed to a spot on the yard when they were at the door.
To me,
When she
yard is that
asked.
entire area.
Yeah, just next time, please
Yard is
give.
anything outside the house that is not fenced in, and that is considered a porch.
Yeah. Still would have been important detail to note that you consider the porch as part of the yard. So I have nothing really to report to Oth then.
Yeah, because
Sorry.
we all
Sorry,
have
it's
like
just
different ways of what identifying
Yeah.
what is, because we all live in different sections of the U.S.
Yeah,
I-
that was
I
just
consider
important
the porch
because
just part
where
that grass.
where I'm from in the U.S., the way that you described it would be seen as an inconsistency.
Meanwhile,
no,
for me,
that's what I was also thinking because
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just like
where
sitting
I'm
there. I'm just
from,
like,
it's
wait a minute. The fire alarms went off because of a fire in the backyard, and I'm just like, how did the smoke get in the house? Because I was thinking yard, not porch.
meanwhile for me, yard would include a porch, as in porch is part of the yard. Although a porch is typically built like a deck to me, so there wouldn't technically be a porch. It's kind of a patio back there, but
Whatever.
that's
Now that it's
all
been clarified,
semantic.
yeah. Now that it's been clarified, I don't really have a reason to to call Authy. So he'll just continue on his way, I suppose. And I think Ainz is still using this as a cover to try to come up with
Where's
more.
Anne's?
I'm doing chores.
You can still talk while doing chores,
no,
motherfucker.
you can't. Technically, can't.
What?
We can hear him. That means
Yeah,
he can talk.
you can see what can you not hear?
Oh god, I think we're losing him.
I can hear you guys. Can you not hear me?
We can hear you. Keep
We
the
can hear
question
you.
going.
Oh, okay, got it. All right. What was I doing?
You're talking to the
You were
boy.
talking to Chad.
Yeah. So you don't get any weird feeling while in the house.
No, why? Now he may have died.
He's died. Up.
What?
We
Hello?
got noise now.
Hello.
Hello? What? Did you not hear what words? All of you turned into
nope.
You
robots
just
for me
dead
for a
cut out.
solid 5 seconds.
Yeah, you dead cut out on our end.
Every single one of you had your bars, your little circles around you, and were talking. But I heard robot sounds.
Yeah, and we didn't
His
hear anything
response
from
was,
you.
No,
So
not really.
That. All right. What was the last thing you heard?
Do
it
you
was
feel
literally his response to you, and then you went dead
I
silent.
think he's asking what question he asked last. Because
The last thing we heard directly from you was, and you don't get any strange feelings from the house. To which Chad replied,
no, not really.
and
Okay.
then you cut out.
Got it. Yeah, I didn't get Chad's response. That's why I was asking. All right. Well, I can't think of any more questions for Chad. So
Ainz, look on your roll 20.
let's
Okay.
God damn
And
it, we should have
Paige,
sent the
don't be
frog.
metagaming.
We should have sent the frog.
Those are awful questions, Paige.
Paige.
I'm gonna get
Wow.
arrested.
There
Paige,
better
don't
que-
questions.
I'm gonna get arrested. Goddamn.
Not my fault.
Don't worry. I'll make sure that your first meal in prison is going to be laced with cyanide.
Thank you. All right.
Meanwhile, like all my metagaming's been kicking you guys in the ass to, hopefully get this thing done without all of you guys dying.
Have you noticed?
Yeah, and I'm 99% sure that we're going to die anyways because everything went to shit.
Yeah. Noticed anything weird about the crawl space in your house?
He's just gonna look over to it. No, why?
No reason in particular.
He's more confused about how you know it's there.
Ah, god damn it. Cut in hand. Why is there the bottom half of a can in the dishes? What?
Someone who's trying to kill you.
Why? I'm just reaching in like, oh, I'm gonna grab the cups. Ow, something cut me. And it's clean. Someone took the time to clean it.
So Irons,
Yeah.
he's just gonna look at you. How'd you know we have a crawl space? Have you been here before?
Another agent has.
Huh. Weird. Was something weird about it or something?
No, it's just better to check your bases, you know what I mean?
Alright.
Haha. Drew away suspicion. Probably not, but still.
I mean, I'll put it this way. If
Dumbass.
that is what the questions that Paige wants you to ask her about, you might want to fucking avoid them because evidently that was a weird goddamn question.
Yeah. Which is why I'm not going to do any more of those. Alright, I'm done asking the questions.
So you're gonna go back to talk to Catherine?
Yes.
Alright. That was a lot faster, probably taking about 20 minutes.
Cool. Goes back to Catherine. What is Catherine doing?
She got back to her homework. Her toys are still out.
Mm.
The toy box is still open as well. She never closed it.
Get Catherine's attention.
Alright, she's just gonna sign you're back.
Yes. I have a few more questions.
Okay.
So, I've been told that sometimes you like to stay up and read.
Yeah, I have trouble sleeping some nights.
Do you have nightmares or?
I used to.
Apply to only blind people.
Look, I used to, but everyone has nightmares at some point, right?
Of course. Right. I have a few more questions. Imaginary. If that's okay.
Alright.
How did you meet your imaginary friend?
I thought him up.
see. I still have to do dishes. Now I have to do them one-handed. It's gonna be difficult, not impossible.
Ready?
Ah, why are there things in the kitchen that like not supposed to be there? As I just class. My foot hurts now.
Guys, Heinz is gonna fucking die.
My whole
Bye, Einz.
my whole line of questioning just went out the window the second I got.
Oh boy. Do you at least
Goodbye,
remember what you
Einz.
learned?
That sounds like a you problem though.
I learned that kid stays up, reads, does oh yeah. How often do you have these nightmares?
I used to have them a bit. It was when I was younger.
How often? Every day? Every two
I don't
days?
remember.
Ah. Fucking can't question kids for shit. Why didn't you have the frog do it? Oh yeah, because you told me I had to wake up. It might kill me.
What is
Right.
even going on?
Doing
That was
chores while
sorry.
foot hurts from glass and cut on hand. Ah. What do you and your imaginary
What was that? I couldn't hear you quite very well.
I said, what do you and your imaginary friend
We talk.
talk about? What?
We just talk.
Well, I'm going to state these facts as a character that I have learned. All right, I've learned that the thing 100% hasn't shown up during. To the child's knowledge, it hasn't shown up during the day. I will. I have one. Does it ever show when anyone else is around?
I don't need my imaginary friend when anyone else is around.
So it only shows up when you need it.
Yeah.
All right. I have no more questions, so I don't do a dumb. I'm not going to force myself
Do
to
you
think of.
want to look around her room?
Yeah, I would like to look around her room.
Where are you gonna look?
Let's say under the bed.
All right. Awareness, because that was the perception one. Actually, no, it's search because awareness is perception, and then investigation is search.
Okay, search. Oh god. Why? Hold on, I gotta check. Search.
Or I guess you can use either one.
Can
I'm
I
not
use
in favor of
alert?
either.
Can I? Oh, wrong thing. Can I use alertness?
Yes, I'm allowing you to use alertness or search.
Thank you.
I'm gonna do you a goddamn solid. Be fucking thankful.
Thank you, Crab.
While looking under the bed, you see a small piece of paper sticking out of the toy box.
I was gonna look at the toy box next.
Perfect timing then, right?
Yeah.
He's about to lose his sanity.
Screw you. I'm gonna
Actually, that's more difficult in this game than it is in of Catherine with a humanoid figure that has been colored in pitch black, as in it looks like somebody probably ran the black crayon down to the nub,
Mm,
coloring
Ah,
this thing in.
does this thing have claws?
No. No, she went back to her homework.
Cool, I'm gonna take that. Actually, is there a way I can take pictures of?
Do you have a camera?
Disposable?
You can take a picture with the disposable camera.
Yeah, I'll take a picture of it with the disposable camera. And I'll also and I will look in the toy box to see if there's anything else.
That was it.
That's it. Okay. I will actively search through. Not a lot to make it a mess, but like I'm just gonna look like.
All right.
And that's it.
Not gonna ask any more questions. You done?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm really. I can't think of any good questions that wouldn't make me seem more suspicious. So I'm gonna, while the FBI agent is the FBI agent still setting up mics?
I'm setting up mics, yeah.
All right.
And here comes the scary part of setting one up in the crawl space.
Spooky, scary crawl
Skeleton.
space.
Well, if it's in there and I go in there when it's in there, it might attack me.
So you're
Just
gonna
pay
set it
no
up in the crawl space. Chad is
Yeah.
just like, oh, all right. I guess you were the one that probably told the other guy.
Hmm.
And nothing happens. It's kind of difficult to move around in there, but
That's fine. I put it in the back where the symbol was at. And aim it towards the door so I can hear it opening.
I will go to Pacific. I will go to Pacific's character. I will tell you that. I will tell you I found something first. Once you're out of the crawl space, I'll be like, I need to talk to you for a second.
And we exit out into the hallway.
Right. No one is around to hear it. Yeah. Conversation.
Don't forget about echoes.
Hooray! I'm only gonna be able to hear half the conversation. Throat mic.
It's fine. Press.
Chat.
Still pressed. It's just like,
Yeah.
yay, I can only hear half the conversation, but that's fine.
There is proof of the child hanging out with the individual.
Yes, and
I've taken pictures of the art, so now the child or the individual.
show it to me.
They're on the disposable camera.
That
Great.
That is
so
very
we're gonna have to
disturbing.
go. So we're gonna have to go. Wait, what kind of disposable camera is this? Actually, yeah, there were a few disposable cameras that didn't spit out the image immediately. Okay.
Oh, all right.
you
then I'll
typically
just-
didn't use those nowadays, though. You had like fucking Kodaks where you'd go and get the film developed because it was more
Yeah.
reliable.
Still, it is a camera he could have gotten.
Yep.
It's a little weird, but yes.
Especially because those are ones where you have to like constantly wave it so that way it doesn't burn the image and completely make it screwed up looking.
Yep.
I don't think I got that one. I didn't know that one was still around. or around at this time.
We
Do
still
enough
have
research.
them. People sometimes still fucking use them nowadays.
I apparently didn't do enough research.
Yeah.
You probably got one of the fucking disposable ones you can get at like Costco or no, not
Yep.
Costco, fucking CVS or Walgreens.
Yeah, I got that.
So that's one where you have to get the film developed.
If you want, you can go to the child's room. It's in the toy chest, and look at it. Please remember to put it back as brings suspicion. I will tell Pacific all the answers that I had gotten from Child, all of them. And the part of her being surprised I knew. And there actually was one that showed up at night, which is the one we're talking about.
Wait, did you just wait for me to like drive the car back around and then just flag me down and get in the vehicle?
No.
So then you just borrowed Authy's mic?
I slightly I kind of just walked down the street till I was outside of the house.
Yeah, you'd still have to wait for me to drive back around.
Yeah, no. I walked in the direction you would be coming.
Hold on. So the kid says it's their imaginary friend?
The kid believes it to be their imaginary friend.
Oh boy.
And it seems to show up and she has a hard time sleeping.
Well, now that just excludes knocking out the kid. But if this thing is only around when the child is aware of it being around, then that would explain why it just up and vanished.
Could the child be an cryptid?
You almost did it
It's-
again.
You fucked up again, but yes. It's like, it's possible. Unlikely, but possible. I hope not, because it would be very difficult to cover up a kid going missing without the rest of the family going missing too.
You know, I remember like last time Paige said she had looked up the image, but I don't remember anybody doing a reverse image search, which are two different things. Just for clarification.
I would like to do a reverse image search.
You don't have a computer on you.
I
I
would like
know.
to do a reverse image search.
There we fucking go.
Thank
Don't
you.
worry, Paige. Don't worry. Don't worry. Things are about to get substantially easier for you guys.
I was just gonna steal
Oh,
Pages
by the
if she
way,
didn't do it.
No. I'm already looking at something just there. I will
Just
fight
drive over
you
to the
for
stakeout
this.
house,
Hilarious.
kick her
because-
out of the chair. I'm doing this work now.
Yeah, again, it's one of those things where it's like
I'm not ready to throw
my character was
punches.
simply told, "Oh, I looked into the image and I couldn't find anything." Well, okay then. As long as someone tried. Not that the person did it badly, and I've been sitting here out of character, festering on this for multiple sessions.
Jacob has known. Jacob
Multiple
out of character is just like,
days.
God damn it, guys. And I'm just like, please. Please.
What do I roll? If I roll
I'm
anything at
sitting
all.
here and
You
out of
don't.
character.
The
I
thing
have
is,
ideas, but
Yahoo
in
has
character, I
image
don't.
search. Yeah. Did nobody know about Yahoo image search?
No,
Yahoo
because who the
has
fuck
image
uses
search?
Yahoo?
Yahoo has image search.
What
I
is
actually was
Yahoo?
vaguely aware of that. What the
Yahoo
fuck
is the old
is Yahoo?
Yahoo was Google before Google existed.
Yeah.
Wait, so it
was
still
from
took
the
people's
time of
personal
Roadrunner.
information?
Yeah.
Roadrunner Internet.
Yep. We had fucking. This was the age of Yahoo and AOL. But yes,
Like out of character, I had ideas. In character, on the other hand, nope. I have to work with the evidence I have. And the lady with the computer said that she searched for the image and didn't find anything. So I'm like, okay,
Okay, come on.
it's the computer lady. She can't possibly be wrong.
I will let you supplement computer science for this. Because this was the occult roll thing. I will let you supplement your fucking computer science. Pacific, I believe we had a conversation about this before ever doing this. Do you remember the name that I gave you?
Oh, I don't recall the name off the top of my head, but I do recall this conversation.
Kor, a Greek
Yeah,
goddess.
that thing.
That's what it tends to be associated with, also called Kas or Yas, depending on who's talking about it. She was the queen of the underworld, and this is more or less a sign of like one of her cults. So who has do you have an unnatural of 30% or more? Or do
I
you
don't
want to
think
roll?
any of us have unnatural.
I'm pretty sure Paige does.
Paige has like a 40 because we were making fun of her for being actually crazy and trying to figure out how she had that high of an unnatural.
Yeah, how did you get that much unnatural? Because even with the damaged veteran, the game only lets you start off with like 10.
Paige, you don't check off computer science. With this, you only check off things that you fail.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you fail a check, you check it off, and then at the end of the session,
You
you
get a
gain
what
a single
percent?
point.
So your unnatural is 40. You're going to have the extra information because you're a goddamn lunatic. And I love it.
Still don't know how that happened, but all right.
And
It comes from most of her disorders.
she is batshit. Like it would terrify you in person.
I just
So
haven't shown
Is
them
this
my
like the type of
shit.
batshit where
Yeah.
I'd be constantly reaching for the sedative-filled needle every time
this
she's
is one
near
of
me?
those things where you'd reach for a gun first.
No wonder I don't mind sleeping near her.
But Paige, you see the name Yas and you're like, oh, oh, oh. Cause you've probably run into stuff like this running around with Delta Green, being a friendly of them. Cause that's an abbreviation in a lot of restricted books that you've tried to get into, and then they've shut you down after you've got like 5 fucking pages in. But the abbreviation is something you've seen before. The abbreviation is for Yogg-Sothoth. That is the great old one who is said to control the way between worlds.
I believe Frog would hear me go, oh, oh shit, that's not good.
Oh, that bad. That bad.
It's lovely that the only person who hears this is, in fact, the frog, because he's the one wearing the throat mic,
Yep.
and not you.
Actually, that's dependent. We never got around to what I was doing. I might still be out because I had stuff to do today.
Last I
was
heard,
wondering
you were
what channel it was.
under the bed and next to the bed with a
Yeah,
cup of
he
coffee.
go do some stuff. You never specified what, so I don't know
Yeah,
where the fuck you've been,
because I was letting you know finish
what we're
with-
doing, and then you'll go over what
yeah,
you're doing. So
which was just back.
This
and
is a
forth.
great
Yeah.
time to discuss what the
Question.
frog was doing.
this is a perfect time for the frog. Frog. Ribbit for
Okay.
me.
Ribbit, ribbit. So, in the morning, after night watch, Frog goes to sleep for 6 hours. So, from essentially daybreak, 6 hours after that, Frog is sleeping. Then, after that, the frog is going to make his way, well, to a police station.
Oh
All
god.
right. Are you wearing your uniform or did you change out of that?
After sneaking off by self, yes, I would have changed into more common clothing.
All right.
I am going to put a call in that I need to see, well, not from the police station, but just in general, I was getting more so away. I need to reach out and contact our lovely contact who told us about here. Just the agent who met us.
So you're trying to get in contact with Delta Green.
Hmm.
All right.
Specifically, the handler who was in charge of us for this operation.
The one that had stated, "Don't call me unless you've got shit."
Hmm. He's getting a lovely phone call. Or someone's getting a phone call that's going to call him.
All right.
How long does it take me to get in contact with him?
They would pick up immediately.
I will
Yeah.
keep this short. I need a uniform of Tampa SWAT. We are moving in on the cryptid within 48 hours. I need that uniform before then.
All right. So you know what you're dealing with then?
We are confirming the existence of what it is, but we have eyes on the cryptid. Its true identity has still been eluding us, but our team is gathering the intel on its name and possible abilities.
Don't get yourselves killed. I don't want to have to cover that shit up too.
Of course.
He hangs up.
Yep. And then I'm going to wait essentially for the message that I'm getting that's saying, go here to get your gear.
You didn't even get that. USPS truck drives by and a fucking package falls out the back after an hour.
Casually picks up equipment, walks back inside building, and I'm gonna, since I'm currently in, well, just civilian clothing, I actually am gonna make a stealth check against Paige so I can get back into the room and change without her noticing.
Oh, she's not even paying attention to that. She's more paying attention to what she's doing.
Hey, that just means I don't need to roll.
Yas, bitch.
Well, in that case, I am
No,
getting back
like,
in the room.
no offense, if you had told her you left, you probably would have, but if you didn't, you probably don't have to.
It's one of those things of I always have to say it because I'm also sneaking to and around the family as well. So I just must, at the very least, state yes, stealth is there, including you for this particular situation. But if there's no need for me to roll stealth, I'm not going to, and I am going to change into the police uniform of SWAT.
So,
The only
Pro,
thing I'm not wearing is the body armor.
Marco, I gotta ask: is this before or after? Before, after, or during? Sort of like the image search.
Easily before.
Okay, then you
Probably.
you would probably hear Rose go, oh shit, that not good.
Indeed.
All right. So Cific's still driving. They had a conversation. Is Authy gonna go look up the fucking drawing?
I'll do that too. Fuck it.
All right. So you're just gonna pick it up. You're gonna see what Ein saw. Are you gonna hold on to it? Are you gonna put it back?
I'm gonna hold on to it.
All right.
I would have suggested putting it back, but we can do this too.
I mean, you did, but
Yeah,
FBI does FBI things.
I straight up made the suggestion like, hey, you should put that back afterwards.
I mean, kids in the room, did you see me do it?
You
Kids
know,
doing
kid,
homework.
kid,
and
kid
Then
will
I
know-
don't give a
Einstein
fuck.
Follow you.
Kid
Kid
is
will notice
deaf and
it's
doing
gone.
homework.
Kid will notice it's gone missing when kid looks for it.
If kid
Assuming
looks for
kid
it.
looks for it.
If kid looks for it, then we'll be like, huh, it's not
Considering
here.
it was just kind of stuffed in there, I'm not really worried.
I didn't stuff it in there. I put it back exactly how it was.
Well, he said it was stuffed in there.
I didn't say stuffed in there. I said it was in there.
No,
Lucas
he said it was.
Oh, he
Lucas
said
said it was stuffed in the chest.
I didn't
Dumbass.
quite say that. I said it was
Ah.
sticking out, but it was
Right.
indeed in the chest.
Wanted to ask if the frog reacted to my character saying anything about doing oh shit.
Yes, he would. You will feel a hand on your, well, it would be your right shoulder as he leans in from the left, wearing full SWAT helmet with the baklava and everything, and just kind of looks over your shoulder like, okay, what's going on now?
Long story
Actually
short,
taking an
it's a
interest.
fucking cult.
There's
Of course it is.
There's a very stoic moment where he goes completely still. The left arm raises gently, and there's just the little fist pump of yes.
Yeah, killing things.
No,
Give me
cults
a
are
little.
just so much easier to deal with than a lot of the other things.
Oh no. You don't understand. It may be a lot more complicated than that because give me a second to write something up to give to you guys. And she'll begin typing up a quick report on what she knows and and she does some research on it.
Shrugs and goes over to essentially the package. Lucas, how much stuff did I get with my, in heavy quotations, disguise?
So you're asking how many points you had with your disguise.
Not quite. They quite literally dropped me off, presumably a Tampa PD uniform, the SWAT armor. Did I get anything? Like, I'm trying to see how much gear they gave me when I said I need to look like Tampa SWAT.
When you said SWAT, they gave you full fucking uniform. Gun, you're gonna worry about because guess what?
Okay.
You're MP5. SWAT sometimes uses those.
Yes, I do. One of the reasons I picked it up. Very popular gun.
Right,
In that
so we're
case,
gonna
I
have the
guess we
SWAT
should-
agent and then the people who look like
Let's just swap doors in that case.
yeah.
And me and Ainz will go in through the back door.
Yeah, we're gonna go through the back now.
Anyway.
Whatever.
Yeah, in that case, I'm going to be getting my gear ready, making sure that, patches and stuff is done correctly.
I'm gonna spend the rest of my
Is anyone
time
going to
covering.
bother alerting everyone else to what we discovered? Because right now only you two know.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it over the throat mic.
I've sent it. I was waiting for you, Pacific.
You know.
No, I mean what those two discovered. Because the big problem with the throat mic is that it doesn't pick up necessarily audio so much as picks up vibrations from your own throat.
Not until she finishes up typing. Because right now, I have no idea what you guys are doing. And the person who does know is currently busy, so I'm not going to interrupt her.
After sort of like she finishes doing it, she shows you. By the way, quick question: do printers exist in this era? Because I'm not entirely sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Remember, we're only like 2000. We're still in the 2000s. No,
we're 1991.
Yeah, exactly. We're still in the 90s. We're right.
Oh.
Oh, cat fight.
It's right before the invention of the M4. And just
So-
before the 2000s, there have definitely been printers.
Okay, yeah, definitely gonna print it off. At least one copy to show it to him.
Okay. And for some reason, the link Pacific gave me has just decided to kill itself. So now refinding the Delta Green Agent's Handbook.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it just goes to error.
Oh dear, it may have gotten screwed up when my like when I had to purge most of my drives. So, yeah, that got purged. Give me a moment. I didn't realize you didn't Yeah, I didn't realize that you didn't download it.
It didn't quite. Let's see, Delta Green Agents Dossier.
All of my D&D folders, great. Oh well, I'll worry about that later.
Let's see, books, Call of Cthulhu now, Delta Green
RPG.
I can do that. Anyway, I'm once she finishes, yes, I will kind of mention for everyone to return the nest. Let's see, Call of Cthulhu now, and Delta Green. Delta Green RPG. Delta Green RPG 2.0, Agent's Handbook. There we go. Okay, I now have it again. I quite literally just needed it for the weapons table. This is a submachine gun. Base range is 50 meters. Damage is a 1d10.
So what is the frog doing?
As I just said, I'm calling people back. Now that the crazy one finished her little write down, we now have information to actually share. So I will let everyone know over microphones that it's time to recall. We have more information.
So it comes down to what everyone else does.
Okay, do you designate a meeting point?
Look
Or
what
is
she
it
did
just
to the
going to be
squirrel.
back at the house that we secured the room in?
Look for the squirrel. You'll find it
It's the
pretty
house.
easily.
I said
All
the
right.
nest.
All right. You're gonna drive me and the specialist back.
Yes.
Unless he does it dumb and I have to pull him into the car.
Either
which
way,
means I
dinner
suppose I'll
tonight
just tie
is
him to the car.
chicken tenders, barely breaded, with spinach and mixed vegetables.
I'm not gonna act this in
If
character.
you want me to,
But
I
should I
can pull
bring
out
my gun in the
hamburgers
house?
to cook a little bit later.
You know, the family still lives there.
Your rifle? No.
Yeah.
Oh, the chicken.
No,
Yeah.
no, no. Just keep that somewhat concealed in the car.
Got it.
I did say concealed, but still in the car. Do not stick
Yep.
that thing into the trunk again.
Got it. It's in the car, concealed.
This may be Florida, but we don't need to just broadcast the fact that we have weapons.
By the way, how's the floors look?
Did we get enough SWAT clothes for all of us, or just
Well,
No,
Jack?
no, he's the only one who requested it, and
Good
to be fair, we
butler.
only need 2 people
Got it.
who have
Oh,
them.
by the way, if we ever get the prefab house, we're getting you a medical cabinet in the master bathroom, so you can store your
when
medicine
you guys
in
come
there.
through the door, there's just a member of Tampa SWAT sitting on the bed messing with an
Look at her
MP5.
face.
Just gonna glance over at Paige's character, glance back, and just go, "Frog?
Waves.
Oh, good.
So
Okay.
that's what you look like under your armor.
Ah,
No,
that's
he's
funny.
he's
That's
wearing
what
the
I figured.
Baklov too, so no. What he looks like under his armor is a suit of, police
know.
uniform and body armor. It's like, underneath my body armor, I wear more body armor.
I'm quite literally hitmanned from a military uniform to a police uniform.
Yep.
Because why not see how far I can drag this out?
So, I think, I suppose we're just waiting for the Oth to walk in the room.
I'm here, Brisky.
All right.
Let's see, I'm gonna switch my. Because I
So,
only have one. I'm just gonna.
you guys
switch
said that we know.
tranquilizer.
Yeah. So you said that we know a little bit more.
By the way, the frog is holding a document my character typed up about what we're dealing with.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass that over.
Okay. I'm going to read the document. Paige, what did you type specifically onto this document?
Yes, she did.
Covering your knowledge of the subject.
Pretty much,
Oh,
yes.
miss, I'm a lunatic. But it's helpful in this situation.
See, even crazy can be useful if you do it right.
Shut up,
It's
Alex.
basically covering all of your knowledge on the subject at hand.
I'm not about to get a natural score just from reading this, am I? I swear to God, if you drive me insane just because you handed me a fucking piece of paper.
All I'm gonna say is, if so, then I need to increase that because I've already, read it.
I just have to double
Hold on.
check because it's like, wait a minute, this page contains information regarding Yogg-Sothoth thought. Don't tell me I'm about to earn unnatural just because you decided to hand me a sheet of paper. God damn it. Let's see. So you just typed in that this is Yogg-Sothoth. Did you add on what he's known for, or is it just saying that the
Basic
Yakuza
summary of
symbols
what
for
he's
him?
known for and what he possibly could do.
Oh dear, I don't know off the top of my head what he actually can possibly do, but
Yogg-Sothoth?
yeah, but he does control the way between worlds, which means that this is definitely a reality warper situation. And I hate reality warper situations because they're a pain in the ass.
Follow protocol and we'll be fine.
The main problem is if it actually is a reality warper situation, that means that we literally can't corner it.
Yep.
Because it'll just bend reality and get away. Which means that this is going to require a different approach.
Don't forget about the cult.
Yes, well, we haven't noticed cult elements here, just the cryptid. I mean, the fire could have been started by a cultist. Not exactly our problem, because our current problem is the cryptid that's running around that's going to blow the lid on the entire operation if we don't deal with it. We can deal with the cult later.
Man, this is like the cult of the broken god.
No. Shut up. Stop that. Stop making SCP references. I will shoot you, Hines.
My
Thank
character didn't say it, now did he?
Boy, don't test me. Well, on our end,
Shoot the character for no
apparently
reason.
the specialist here has found out that the child classifies this cryptid as her imaginary friend. And apparently we aren't and judging from what he's found out, we aren't supposed to know about the crawl space. Looks pointedly at the specialist. What?
Did you just have eyes become specialist so you could say the specialist instead of the gunner?
No,
Gunner
it was either
is-
specialist or enlisted.
Well,
He's
specialist,
specialist.
private. Specialist
Yeah.
is an enlisted rank, so
Yeah,
that
it's
we're
an
they're
enlisted
just
rank,
addressing
but-
him by his rank.
Yeah. I'm literally addressing him by his actual rank in the military, which is specialist.
Never said I was a interrogation.
God damn it, we should have sent in the frog.
You shut up. Well, my character wouldn't say that. He's too prideful.
Pride gets you killed in the military. You're gonna die in Korea.
Never said he was idiotic, Brian.
He's too proud to admit that someone else would have been a better option. Well, you're gonna die. Because you're gonna get volunteered for a mission, and you're like, but there's a better option. But you're too prideful to admit it, and then you die. You know why?
No.
Because the other guy would have been able to avoid what killed you.
See, that's what you may think, but
That's exactly what happens.
it's not what happened.
That's actually what happens to prideful people out in the field. Either they die or someone else dies right next to them because of one of their stupid actions.
Well, no, the thing is, if they're proud, but you see, logical, it's typically not that bad. It's when they're proud and a coward.
Again,
when
I
people
look
die.
directly at Hines.
I'm not a coward.
Your character's not a coward. I'm looking at you.
I mean, I've had a gun aimed at me before.
Hines, I've seen how you've played so many of your characters.
Yeah.
You act
That's 'cause I
tough,
like
and then
to
the
be the
moment that
opposite
the
of
going
me.
gets tough, you go sprinting.
Yeah, that's because I like them to be the opposite of me. I said
This,
the opposite
this
of me.
character's going to die.
A hypocrite. Oh wait, no, that's real.
Anyways, back to this piece of paper in our hands. Like in our hand.
No, let's go back to the topic of me running away and everything.
Ignoring Hines for a moment. So, do you happen to know anything that make our job easier? Because what I'm seeing here is a list is the fact that our job just got more complicated.
Keep reading.
Paige, I actually need your input on this. I need to
Yes,
know what
I
you
will.
wrote down on that piece of paper because this is something that I, as a person, don't know. off the top of my head.
Because so reality warper bender of worlds has either of you guys seen anything where the thing it made showed any ill thing, like ill content? Better question: did either of you ask when the imaginary friend showed up?
Yes.
Looks at the specialist.
Yes, I did. I did. She said she didn't know. She doesn't remember.
Did she have her
Really
imaginary
broke up
friend
his memory.
before or after she moved into the house?
She said she didn't remember.
Did you try asking everyone else in the house when her imaginary friends started showing up?
That would not match up with what our current cover investigation is looking into.
I thought that would be too suspicious.
It makes sense to ask a child about an imaginary friend, but to start asking the rest of the family regarding an imaginary friend when we're looking into a serial killer, it wouldn't make quite as much sense. At least with a child, it might just be that someone's pretending to be her imaginary friend. With everyone else, it starts making it look like we're looking for something that isn't human.
Well, there was that. I think that it's honestly just originally a house that housed the cult. Not sure what'll happen if you get rid of the signs, though.
So you're saying that all we have to do is go in there under the guise of flushing this guy out and then get rid of the marks, and that should make it go away?
I think. I'm not entirely sure.
You know,
Specialist, didn't you say that this thing shows up when the little girl needs it?
yeah.
Maybe it acts as a guardian
Doesn't that
angel.
imply that it may have actually latched onto her?
It shows up only when she's at home and only when she's by herself, as well as when she is lonely.
Did you
Dear
ask
God,
what
we're
it
gonna
talks?
have to murk someone's imaginary friend right in front of them.
So I gotta ask this question: did either of you guys ask what they talk about?
Looks at the specialist.
Yes, I did. She said things.
Just so you know,
Did you
guys,
not-
those mics are going to be on a closed loop, meaning they don't transmit out.
Yeah, we know. We know that we're gonna have to go in there and actually recover the information off the mics themselves in the morning.
Did any of you guys think of putting a mic in her room?
That would have been a dead giveaway that we suspect that it's walking into their room, in which case the mother might have actually panicked. Because there's an extent to which the police officer will go, and that extent goes right up until it's literally in the same room as their child, hovering over their bed while they're sleeping.
Did you put it anywhere close to the rooms?
Agent, did you set one in the hallway right outside the rooms?
Yeah.
Then yes. That was a question directed to you.
Wait,
Sorry.
third thing. Wait, the mic thing? Oh. Okay, second thing. Do we have any of the cameras pointed into the kid's room?
That would be the thermal in the front.
Of the house.
Yes, but can the thermal pick up what they're signing?
Thermal would not be able to pick up what they're signing, but that's usually where me and the other military guy are posted for taking up the night watch. We have eyes on that spot.
To the point where
Yeah,
you can
just lost
recognize what
eyes.
they're signing?
Recognize? No, that would require the guy who literally just dropped from the call. There he is. We were just talking about you, Irons.
Phone died.
Just go. I personally can't. He probably could if I loan him my binoculars.
I have some in the trunk.
You better have. Mister,
Oh,
I'm part of
next
the
time-
recon division.
Next time you guys see it, try to figure out what it's signing to the girl and what they're talking about. If anything, it might be trying to trick the girl into coming back with it. Or trying to trick the girl into becoming perhaps part of a sacrifice. Not sure. Could be hostile, or it could be non-hostile.
Oh God. Oh.
If anything, you might have to try and convince the little girl to let go of this imaginary friend.
That's going to be difficult to do without the family getting suspicious.
That's only if it's trying to sort of like trying to bring her into another world.
Izukai anime.
Also, she says if it says the words Cass, Yas, or one of the other words listed in the document, it's, and I mean the names of the thing, it's likely probably trying to either get her to worship it or do something much worse.
So, if it's attempting that, can I? I'm kidding. I'm not gonna ask that question.
Can I shoot the thing? How about
Better
no?
question. What was its
yet.
name?
I raised my hand asking, do bullets affect it?
Probably not. Depends on the
Actually,
creature
it's
itself.
possible. It's possible if it's a reality warper and actually
Possible,
tied
but
to
don't shoot. You might hit
Yogg-Sothoth,
the
then
girl.
it really depends upon what where exactly this thing came from.
Did either of you
Oh,
guys
God.
get its name?
Just gonna glance at the agent and the specialist, the two people who are in there.
I'm gonna look at the specialist like that was your job. Did you get it?
She said it doesn't have a name.
Did she name it anything?
She didn't name it anything.
She just said it didn't have a name. Oh, great.
Then that's not a good sign.
Well, not necessarily.
True, but either way, keep constant watch of the house.
Roger.
We're basically looking to see if it's talking while it's signing. Or if it may be going to others' rooms and talking to them while they're asleep. It might just warp away quick enough to where the light sleepers won't notice. Also, perhaps try to see if there's anything that's been moved around or basically ghost haunting shit. Or stuff if someone's lived in there with them that they didn't realize about.
So as you have said, I cannot, shoot it.
I didn't say that.
Now,
She didn't say that. She just said
I
it's
said don't
likely to
shoot.
not be effective.
Yeah, they
she
said don't
don't
shoot
it's
it.
likely
The girl.
ineffective. Right?
And then
My
you said,
sister-
don't shoot at it when the girl's in the line of fire.
No.
Yes,
I
I
said
know.
don't shoot at it when the girl's there.
Yep.
And if you do go non-lethal, it might have a strong enough connection to where it could transfer injuries. Not sure. Reality warpers are weird.
That's more of a what the fuck are they called? Spiritual vampires? Anything from that, anything from that all the way up to all the way to an empath from a different dimension could do that. Which unfortunately leaves a very wide variety of things that can actually do that to her. And every single one of them's bad, because that means that the only way to get rid of it is to kill the child. So let's hope that's not the case.
Either way, whatever you do, guys, be careful whenever you go there, because there was one in the back room, and there's one on the door. We don't know if it latched onto the girl after this thing got imprinted or not, but see if she's talked to anyone about having this imaginary friend. It's entirely possible it showed up afterhand, and it's messing with her in a way. She thinks it's always been there.
I'd say that's probably the most likely thing, since didn't the mother only just get over that feeling after the fire on her doorstep?
Mm-hmm.
If ain't wait, hold on. Who was the last one out of the house?
Who was the last one out of the house? For what? The fire?
Yeah, when they were rushing out.
I don't think either of them actually asked that question.
Like, who was the first one out and sort of like last one in and all that?
I believe it was the mother. I believe the wife said the husband was living away, which means that the
The mother most likely exited last because she would have made sure the children got out first.
yeah.
Okay, so which child entered last, and which one exited first?
I have no idea.
I'm asking because that could have been the point of attachment.
I would presume that's probably the point where the entity showed up.
Yeah,
Just
and
to,
since it's
or at the very least, that was the moment it manifested. It may have been there beforehand and just dormant.
not just that, they exited through the front door, right? Same door that had the carving.
Yes. That's how they saw it.
Why would
Typically how you
manifest
leave
and
out
attach
evidence.
itself to the first person that went through it the moment it manifested? Well, to it once it manifested.
That would have been the father, not the little girl.
No, what I mean is we don't know exactly when we don't. The question I have to ask is, how long ago was the thing carved before the fire was started?
Presumably, it would have been carved just before the fire was started.
So maybe
The fire
manifest.
would have woken up the family, and whoever carved it would not have had enough time to get away had they carved it afterwards.
Okay. My thing is maybe they started the fire so it would attach to one of the family members. I'm just throwing out ideas here.
And I'm saying the mother seems to be able to sense it, which implies directly that, like, especially due to the fact that it hasn't been addressed yet as this imaginary friend, it seems to imply that only the child is fully aware, but the mother's starting to become aware of its existence.
Real question
The
though,
mother
why?
can tell something's wrong. No one else in the house can. And the little girl can directly see what's causing that feeling.
But the real question is, why is there a second thing there?
What, the second symbol?
Yeah. Not only that, why did none of the family members notice it till then?
It's a crawl space area. They don't really need it for most of the year.
But when they wait, did they first get? Did they sort of like inherit it? How did they get the house?
They probably bought it.
Wouldn't they have
Yeah.
noticed it when they inspected the house?
No,
Not
not really.
necessarily. Crawl spaces are actually pretty good spots to hide things for that reason. There are people who still buy places and then find random shit in their crawl spaces that
Yes,
they
but
definitely
the
didn't
thing
notice
is
the first time around.
something that Authy noticed last time he was in the house. First time, they used it for storage.
Yeah, storage because you said there was a lot of like decorations and stuff in there.
A lot of shit in there.
Second time,
Same thing.
word for
There was.
word.
I didn't inspect it as I was going in there. I was hooking up
No,
the
no, no, no,
microphone.
no, Ozzy. The son was surprised you knew about it.
No, the son was surprised that the specialist knew that there was a crawl space
Because
in
as
the
far as he
house.
was aware, the specialist hadn't ever been in the house before.
Okay. I felt like there's something we're missing that we looked over what Crow said.
I'll be right back.
Like, wait.
The mother knows it's there and she feels it the whole time. That means it's always there. Just the child doesn't see it until she needs it.
Maybe it hides in the crawl space.
No, because then Ossie would have noticed it.
No. Hear me out. It's carved on the wall, right? And then it sort of like got carved on the door, right? Are we certain there aren't any other ways to get into this crawl space? Ways that might have gotten covered up because of storage? Guys? Can you hear me?
What? I was killing a T-Rex made of metal.
I was basically saying perhaps there's more area in this crawl space than we think of. Maybe there's something more to it that we just can't see because of what's there.
No, I moved shit around.
I'm actually probably going to call it here with your recent discoveries, because evidently I'm fucking hungry. I only ate. The last time I ate was 10:30, so it's been nearly 12 hours.
Okay, well, I'm gonna stop the live stream here. Guys, go review the live stream. We definitely missed something.
You guys are going to want to watch both of those, figure out where you fell apart in, probably.
So, basically, I'm pretty certain that we missed something that Crow said that just completely flew over our heads. Wait, did anyone ask the son if he had an imaginary friend? Or wait.
No, because that would have been weird.
No, I mean when he was younger.
No, I did not.
Okay, I'm gonna leave this off with, if you guys realize what Crow's doing, comment in the comment section below. Maybe give us clues
Wow.
as to what we should do next.
Chat, don't help her.
It's not helping her, it's helping us.
Don't do it.
Chat, don't give them answers directly. Put it in cryptic fucking messages.
Do
Absolutely.
that. I agree.
I want
Absolutely do that.
riddles. I want riddles. I want you to
Riddles.
fuck with their heads.
Give us riddle.
We're just really, really weird people, aren't we?
I mean, my favorite thing is you guys aren't bothering to look into any of the family members.
What do you mean,
supposed to?
look at the family members?
I said
Look
look into.
Like, oh shit, we didn't do a background search!
I just had somebody drop something.
That's true, none of us did a background search.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Someone
go
did that.
get my food, though.
Oh shit, I need to go make a list of stuff we need to do now. It's time for me to get busy.
I'm gonna kill somebody with this weapons now.
Cool, not the child.
No, not the child. Jeez, why you guys keep thinking about to kill a
By
child?
the way, it suggests that there may be a cult or a cult person in the area. Just want to remind you that save your ammo. You might go hunting.
Yay! I'm gonna be useful by shooting people in their skull.
Yeah, shoot him in the dick first.
You're not my boss. Pacific is.
Pacific? You're rolling?
I mean, just a ruling as a soldier. If you
Do
start
I
just
have to
randomly
shoot him in the
wasting,
penis?
no, that well, it's not inefficient, but it's also not entirely useful. It's just if you're drawing your weapon up, feel free to spray from crotch to face. It's just a matter of down someone efficiently. Don't spend any
I
more
don't need
casings
this.
than
Why
you
do I have this?
necessary.
I'm gonna sell that.
Okay, see you guys later. Bye bye!
Bye.